welcome back to Reykjavik Open 2015. I am Fiona Steil-Antoni from Luxembourg, and with me...
I'm still Super-Grandmaster Ingvar Johannesson from Iceland.
So, double round today,
yes.
Second round of the day. Things are slightly heating up. We have our first IMs who are battling the GMs on the top boards. Here are the top pairings. On top board, Shahriar Mamedjarov, the top seed. He's facing IM Simon Becker-Jensen.
Yeah, Becker-Jensen has been playing well in Iceland in recent years.
He had a great tournament last year. I remember I was almost in tears when he missed his GM norm in the last round.
From a winning position, if I remember correctly.
Against Hannes Stefansson. Then second board, Victor.
John Victor Gunnarsson against David Navarra. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how John Victor does. I think he's a very strong player, and sometimes he just needs a little bit of confidence, so I hope he does well today.
Then on the third board, Elyanov against an IM from Russia, Petrov. I believe he might be the only player from Russia in the whole tournament, which is quite surprising.
Yeah.
On fourth board, IM Polvet, who I am not familiar with.
He seems to be from Colombia.
Yeah.
He's playing against Gwen Jones. And we have Ervin Lamy. He's playing against Wang Yi.
It's not the Wang Yi, but maybe a relative. Then on the next board, is that Brahe?
Oh, yeah, it's Brahe.
Playing Nils Grandelius from Sweden. And then we have Alex Fier from Brazil, who beat his girlfriend Nino this morning.
Yeah, very.
Playing IM Esserman.
Yeah, that would be an exciting game. Fier is a very big attacking player, and Esserman is also an exciting player, so we'll keep an eye on that one.
Then on the next board we have IM Hagen from Denmark, if I'm not mistaken. Is facing Erik Hansen from Canada. Then another local player.
Yes, my boy, Hjörvar Gretarsson. I hope he does well in this tournament. He's been studying law, but he's a very strong player, and he wants to push his rating over 2600, so that could be the first step in this tournament. Playing against IM Sequeira.
Exactly, and then we have the Polish, very strong IM, should be a GM soon, playing against Soares from Belgium. Then we have another local, Henning.
Yeah, he's always in the same place in the pairings because he has a fixed board.
Okay, how come? Do you know?
His board is shorter than the others.
Okay.
Some special needs, I believe, because he broke his hand.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah. So he is playing IM Arlander.
Yeah, from Sweden. He's been to Iceland many times, as many other people in this tournament. Then we have Fiedemaster Einar Hjalti Jensson, who is coaching the Icelandic women's team in the European Championships. He's playing against Grandmaster Brunello from Italy. And
then we have Grandmaster Gao from China. He's playing...
Victor Shen from, I think he's American.
Okay. FM Hauge against GM Rasmussen.
Yeah, Norway against Denmark. Then we have Grandmaster Danielsen against WGM Abdul Malik.
This is the girl I was telling you about yesterday. The girl I'm looking forward to seeing how she does. She's from Kazakhstan, and she's only 14, if I'm not mistaken. She's very young.
She already has an impressive rating for a 14-year-old.
So big, up-and-coming, talented lady. Then we have Tari from Norway. Was hailed as the next Magnus Carlsen a few years back. He's playing IM Angrimsson. Then we have Idani Puya from Iran. He was the
World Junior champion.
Under 18 or under 20?
I think he was just World Junior champion last year.
Okay. Yeah.
Last year before last year's tournament,
He's playing FM Christiansen. Then we have IM Welling, who's playing against our good friend. Yeah. Then we have Axel Rombaldoni from Italy playing Dan Bisbee, who this morning's
hero.
Yeah.
Dan Bisbee.
He beat Mostasian, and I heard Dan played a brilliant game. Apparently, all his moves were the first computer lines, so very well done. And then finally
Kasim Goulamali from the States against Alexander Kolovic from Macedonia.
And also, we can tell you that this afternoon there's quite a few players who took a bye.
Yeah.
Out of these,
Gupta took a bye.
Yeah, Gupta and Tanya from India.
Okay.
And the whole French group of players, Mathieu Cornet, Sébastien Mazet, Jean-Pierre Leroux and Fabien Libisevski. And I assume they would have taken a bye because of the football tonight.
Yeah, maybe.
They are all big football fans, and PSG
rooting
is
for
playing
PSG
tonight, or against, who knows. I think some of them might be Marseille fans, so...
And also, yeah, Artur Yusupov wanted to take a bye. Well, he's getting older, so I mean, he just wanted to rest.
2 games a day.
Yeah, that's rough.
So, do you want to jump into it?
Let's just jump into the action, and
we start with our board 1 encounter.
The top seed, Shakhriyar Mamedyarov,
who had a quick, rather quick game this morning. Who will, unlike his sister.
Yeah, she played the second longest game of the round.
Yeah.
So, well, not much has happened here. There wasn't much time to prepare for the game because all the pairings were just up like an hour before the round. But either way, I mean, if Shakhriyar had a quick look, he saw that Simon Becker always plays the King's Indian.
Yeah.
But anyway, he opts for a quiet system here with e3 and bishop e2. Looks rather slow and passive, but he just wants to build up and advance on the queen side, and he does so with b4. Not much.
No.
Not much to tell about this position. So let's move on to other games.
Go and find another King's Gambit. I was very excited to have a King's Gambit here this morning.
Yeah, and Hjörvar managed to win that game with the black pieces, but didn't necessarily look too great. Let's see Jon Viktor on
board 2.
Caro-Kann was still rather early in the opening, so e4 c6, Caro-Kann, and White can play knight d2, knight c3, or push the pawn, which is the advanced variation, but the Jon went for knight c3, and bishop f5. Okay, we have some moves. Bishop f5, knight c3, h4, h6, knight f3. Knight d7 is the main move, but preventing knight e5. But recently, e6 has become much more used, allowing knight e5. And play perhaps becomes more concrete, I guess. So f4 and bishop b4 check. Yeah, he's probably playing this to provoke c3. Just because it's more likely that White will castle queenside, and c3 will weaken some squares of the castle position.
Yeah.
So still early, and we see them here on the webcam.
Both
Navarra
focused.
On the left, Jon Viktor on the right. And yeah, he's already played bishop d6. Jon Viktor went c3 and bishop d6.
Look at Navarra's time on the clock. He's gone 5 minutes up.
He's actually gained time on the clock because you get 30 seconds for each move you make.
Which means that he's been playing every move instantly.
Yeah, so 12 moves, that's 6 minutes. So he's spent 40 seconds to make his moves and write them, which is never a good sign for your opponent. So Jon Viktor is probably feeling a little bit uneasy about this. Yeah. Meanwhile, in the background, we see Robert Lagerman arbiter, we see Erwin Lamy, we see Hrant McCulmian on the right, Pavel Elyanov.
Okay, shall we move on to
let's move on to other games.
3?
I'm guessing it's
Pavel.
Not Elyanov's move, since he's walking around.
Yeah.
So he played queen f3. Still in the early stages of the opening, nothing really too sharp or dangerous happening on any board. Nikita Petrov put his bishop on g4 in the Slav. And this allows h3, g4 gaining some space. And white gets the bishop pair. Sort of a classical situation. In these Slav positions, white has the bishop pair, but black claims that he's really solid. And not much going on. And my money is, of course, on Elianov.
Yeah.
He's very strong in these positional type games.
Do you have any idea why there's so few Russian players in the tournament?
I don't know. I might have an idea, but I'm not willing to discuss them all. No, but we had some. I mean, we had last year. We had some Russians, and one guy. What's his name again? Who had the lecture?
Who had a what?
He had a lecture last year. Kobalia, yes.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's a trainer of some Russian youth teams.
Exactly.
It was very, very informative, but yeah, it's probably more expensive to fly from Russia, so it can be an issue.
Probably young Nikita Petrov.
Oh, he's a young guy, as we see now on the webcam.
He's probably looking for a GM norm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great tournament to be hunting norms.
Yeah, I think we've
very
had
strong field, many different countries, which is also important when you're hunting norms. You don't want to.
You have to play a certain amount of federations to get your norm. And I think we had norms in almost every Reykjavik Open in
which is
the
weird.
past few years.
There's a lot of up-and-coming players here who tend to do very well. So we'll keep an eye on all those as the tournament progresses. So on board 4, our good friend Gawain.
Yeah.
With the black pieces. Playing, you said an IM from Colombia.
Yeah, so we can predict King's Indian safely, I think.
Well predicted.
From Gawain.
Yeah.
Castles, and we have a main line. And his opponent goes for bishop e3. Okay, the main move is castles, but bishop e3, of course. Another of the main moves. And here, Gawain went for queen to e8. Could have played knight g4 also, if I remember correctly. But first he went queen e8, and now knight g4. Okay, white moves the bishop. Of course, we can't go grabbing pawns because our structure will be quite bad, and black doesn't mind giving up some material for this strong bishop. Might even give it up on c3, just to completely ruin the structure. Something like this is not out of the question.
That's a funny pawn structure.
Yeah. So white preferred to keep this bishop. Went bishop g5, and now Gawain took with a knight on e5, and white castled.
We were this morning when I was discussing the games with Peter. We were discussing the banana. It looks like Gawain has another banana, and Peter thought that would make him invincible. We also did discuss what the black thing next to the banana was. We were hoping
Fritz?
it wasn't the phone. Yeah. Huh? No,
Dark,
on the other side.
It's probably dark chocolate.
No, not the chocolate.
Yeah,
the other.
it's chocolate. Then the other thing.
Yeah,
and you found out.
I had a look this morning. It is a pen case. No phone. No phone. No pocket Fritz.
Yeah, fortunately he also doesn't need it, so it's that strong. So
it's quite good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's move on.
We move on board 5. Evan Lamy against Wang Yi.
Wang Yi.
Wang Yi.
Wang Yi.
Could call him Wang Yi B.
Wang Yi B. Yi. I don't know.
Yet another Slav.
Too many Slavs in this tournament.
I thought we'd prohibited them this morning, but.
Bishop f5, e3. Yeah, I think we've seen Evan Lamy play this before.
Yeah.
And yeah, he should know a thing or two about the Slav. I think he's been on the team of Anand.
Evan.
At one time.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. So.
You know, again, I was saying this morning. I wouldn't want to. I said this morning, if I was Naroditsky, I wouldn't want to play this young Chinese girl, and she did manage to make a draw. And again, it looks like Ervin's opponent is quite young. And the problem is just with these players, they can be extremely underrated.
Yeah.
You just can't really predict what their strength is. So, yeah, his rating is 2430, but, you know, could be almost 2600, so.
It's safe to be scared of these Chinese guys. They're usually quite strong. So after knight a6, he took on c4. No, knight b4.
I predict that at least one Chinese player at this tournament will score an arm.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we had Chinese norms from the past. Okay, we see castles, e6, queen e2. I mean, the knight can always jump into c2, but it's not really doing anything too great, and we can maybe even try to win some stuff with e4 or something.
Yeah.
So knight c2, although it might look dangerous, it probably isn't. And that's why black just went on with his development. Bishop e7, bishop d2, castles, and rook ft1. Typical quiet Ervin Lamy game. He's a very strong endgame player, so he doesn't mind a long struggle, and probably that's his plan against such a young player. Usually they're more tactical.
Ervin, who this morning had quite a long game, and I don't know if you had a look, but I did predict they would enter this endgame where Ervin had a knight and 3 pawns. So they did go down this line we had a look at.
Oh, yeah.
So they ended up playing this endgame, and he did convert it. So we keep moving on, go down to board 6, our good friend Brahe.
Brahe against Grandelius.
Grandelius from Sweden.
So Brahe is playing the English opening. And we see knight c6, bishop d2, bishop c5. The Karpov variation. He used to play this line. Brahe goes for a3. Wants to play b4. Hit the bishop. Let's turn this off so we can play around with some colors. b4, bishop a7. And now we feel chatto the other bishop. Castles. And white has 2 choices here, knight f3. Or develop with e3. 2 ways to develop the knight. And he goes for this one.
Another banana variation.
Brahe has the banana.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was a banana boy, but... Okay, e3, yeah, it's a different option. You know, you keep the structure to play against this bishop. You try and plant that bishop. Put the knight on e2. So still early opening phase. Not much to talk about. We see Grandmaster Kristjansson watching his friend Thorfinnsson playing.
We have a healthy scratch on the chat asking us, because I mentioned that this morning we wanted to prohibit the Slav, and he's asking us if there's one opening we could prohibit, which one would you choose?
The Berlin game.
I was thinking exactly the same.
It's getting so boring.
Yeah. No more Berlins.
No more Berlins.
No more
fortunately, no Berlins yet in this tournament.
Yeah, we haven't had. I think it's much more rare to see them in open tournaments, or maybe in later rounds when the rating difference is not so big.
Start to play.
Yeah.
I actually want to see Fear against Fear with no fear.
So that
against Mark Esserman.
Which board is this? Board 7.
Okay. And they are both guys that can play fast. Fear I have often seen play quite fast, and right now his clock is, he's gained time on the clock. But perhaps not surprisingly, since the King's Indian is an opening, you can play quite fast. So castles, bishop g5. He's playing the Averbach variation. After knight a6, he plays f4. There are many ways to play it. You can play with h4, f4, queen d2. He went with f4, which is, well, corresponds with his aggressive style. c6 by Esserman, queen d2, and okay, we have a new move. Keep forgetting to turn this off. Queen d2, d5, breaking in the center. Usually black goes for the e5 break, but here he breaks with d5. And let's see, bishop takes f6, and pawn takes f6. So black has sacrificed the pawn. Rook e8. Instead, he has the bishop pair, and although he has double pawns here, this does open lines for the rook. At some point, he can play f5, and this guy will want to come alive and put some pressure on the diagonal. Yeah. And white still hasn't castled, so let's see how.
You know, I like to, while you take the people through the chess variations, I like to look at the webcam, and I find it quite funny how both players are playing in t-shirts. It's snowing outside, it might be minus temperatures, and if you just look at this particular game, you could think it's some summer open tournament. Yeah. So, do you know where Esserman is? He's from USA.
Boston. He's from Boston.
Do you know that?
Yes.
So let's continue. So
knight e3, queen e7, and white got castled. Bishop went to d7, putting pressure on the knight, and the only way to release that pressure is with king to f2, copying his girlfriend from this morning. Yeah. Let's put her king on f2. Bishop c6, rook a e1. Trying to prepare to relieve the king of the duty of protecting the knight. Black centralizes, and now d5. They're playing really fast. Now knight c5, do we have another move? Yes, bishop d3. Bishop d3 by Peer, and now he gets off from the board. Playing really fast, even this move.
He tends to be away from the board quite a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Very, maybe even a tad hyperactive.
Yeah.
A very nice guy. It's we mentioned it this morning. It's his birthday today, so I guess winning.
Maybe he's trying to win quickly so I can go and celebrate.
I did. Actually, I think you were playing Blitz with him when I arrived on Sunday, and the first question I heard Alex ask was, "Where are the discos?"
Yeah.
So he's been planning his birthday celebrations for some days now.
Yeah.
So, shall we move on?
Yeah, let's maybe a quick assessment of the position. Okay, white still can't take on c6 because of the pain on the d-file.
Yeah.
But yeah, my initial feeling is that black doesn't really have enough compensation for the pawn. We'll see. I mean. And
Alex has been playing really quickly.
Yeah, and also that. Adds to the confidence.
Might still be in some sort of preparation here.
Yeah. And perhaps the main thing is that black doesn't really have any pawn breaks to speak of. So he has to generate play with his pieces, but for now the white pawn seems to be doing a good job of blocking that. Okay, we'll keep an eye on this because Esserman probably has to do something rather drastic.
Yeah. So on the next board we have Andreas Kitterhagen, who's playing Erik Hansen.
So it looks to me like he's playing according to the Michael Marin books on the English with knight a3, castles, bishop b2, knight b7, and rook c1. Yeah, for fans of Blitz, you can try queen c2 and hope that black falls for something like this. I've won some games in Blitz with that little trick. Yeah. But it's not the best move, so he played rook c1 and now c5. So once again we see the battle of the bishop pair against a bishop and a knight.
I think the bishop pairs have been winning quite a few of those battles so far. So we'll keep an eye on this.
Yeah. So white, you know, he had to give up the double pawns for the bishop pair, but you know, pluses and minuses. We'll see what comes up on top.
You know, I think this afternoon we can expect some really exciting. I mean, we had some really exciting games this morning already, but now this afternoon the gaps in the waiting.
Yeah, it's closing down every round. First round it's too much. Second round should be too much, and usually is. But in the third round we start to get more evenly matched games.
Yeah.
And you know, we had a similar build-up last year, and then the fourth round we start to see Grandmaster clashes. So let's move on.
On the next board we have Ingvar, board 9. He's playing against José Rafael Sequeira Paulini. Do you know where he's from?
No.
I don't
I haven't noticed
either.
Maybe he's the other guy from Colombia.
While you take us through the opening.
Yeah, here with white, and we see
from Venezuela.
A Dutch. He's from Venezuela. Yeah. Okay. He's come a long way.
Yeah.
Black is going for a stone wall, and before going d5, which he could do here, he goes a5, b3 and a4. I've seen this, sometime before. Ingvar goes for bishop a3, which is usually a typical idea to exchange the black squared bishops. Black obliges with bishop takes a3. But now perhaps the main difference is that black hasn't moved his pawn to d5 yet. So he has the option of moving it one square instead of going to d5. And in that case, he can maybe try and organize e5, you know, go queen e7, play d6, e5. When the position takes on a completely different character than the stone wall.
Indeed.
But again, not many moves.
Yeah, all rather quiet openings so far. Let's move on until we find some.
We're bound to find something.
Yeah, hopefully. On the next board, board 10, Jacek Stopa from Poland, facing Steph Soers from Belgium, I believe. I guess Stopa is one of these players. He must be looking. He must have some GM norms surely if his rating is 25-44.
Already so 25-44.
Possibly looking for what could be a last GM norm. We'll have to find out about that during the tournament.
So bishop b4, and he plays the f3 Nimzo against the Nimzo Indian. d5, a3, and bishop e7. I played this line with white myself. This is not the main line for black, but I've seen this plenty of times nonetheless. And e5 now. d5, bishop c5. Yeah, we've seen this in some Nakamura games. Bishop g5, knight e3 is also a move. But he went bishop g5, h6, and now bishop d4. I'm sure Stopa is well prepared here. Yeah. Plays knight b5, gives up the b2 pawn. And we already have some complications, a6.
A lot of pieces are hanging after the next move. But
yeah, already, if you go back, then we just regain the pawn.
Yeah.
And okay, e5, maybe d5. Maybe e5 is an option, but okay, we can at least just take the pawn. And we have equal pawns, and we're up the bishop pair. So he went a6 instead, and bishop takes f6. Knight takes c7, Zwischenzug. So, yeah, the pawn count is still equal. But I like that black has at least got some control over these black squares here. Plays b5, very aggressive move.
Position here.
Knight h3 allows him to take on c4, knight f2, and rook g8.
Do you think he will easily win? Yeah, he can just win it back right now if he wants to.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, not maybe rook c2. if he wants to win it right away. I'm not sure he's worried.
But after rook c2, I thought maybe knight b6.
Yeah, then we
Okay.
can drop this one off,
Yeah.
and yeah. It feels rather risky, this position for black, because we can play bishop e2 and castle.
I'm told to tell you that you should at least pretend you're having a good time. People out there are under the impression you're not enjoying yourself.
Oh. Well, I'll just leave then. I mean, it's hard work, man. Come on. You have to think here.
So, rook g8.
Yeah, like I was saying, I don't like black's position somehow.
Does Zibit ever smile?
No. Bishop e2 and castles. I don't like the black position.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you put the king? You have to keep it in the center, and yeah, I don't really like it. So do we have some tweets? Somebody's asking, can you tell me what table is Sebastian Mase?
I believe I know Nicolas Lohitri.
He's not at the table.
Yeah.
He's in. I think he's lying in bed.
Nicolas should actually know, because if I'm right, he does play football with Mase from time to time. So those are the players we showed you earlier. Those are the list of players that are taking a bye this afternoon. Because Reykjavik is actually one of the few tournaments where all the players can take a bye. Because there are some open Yeah, you can take 2 byes, a total of 2 byes. But there's
in the first 7 rounds.
Yeah, some tournaments I think the title players are not allowed to take byes. Yeah. But here everyone can take a bye. So
usually it's to complement, the players that are not professional.
Yeah.
Have to take time off work or something, and it's better for them.
We saw Artur Yusupov taking a bye this afternoon. It is the double round. The double round takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
People have just arrived. We just started yesterday. Some have been traveling from quite far, just 2 days ago. So it is nice to give them the opportunity to take a bye, should they wish to. So I think it's up to every player to decide for himself. Some took a bye this morning because they just don't like to play in the mornings. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we saw some players that took a bye in the morning, but also did so last year.
Okay, yeah.
I know Stefansson doesn't like to play in the morning.
Yeah.
I think he took a bye also today.
Famously, Lewis.
He did play rook c2. Oh no, that's on our analysis.
Yeah.
So g3. Okay, he wants to play. Okay, maybe bishop h3 and castle. Okay, either way, we're going to move on to Johannesson Steingrímsson, playing on board e11. And he sort of got a bye this morning because he only had to play 8 moves. One only...
Okay.
What?
That's the excitement we were looking for.
King d2?
Okay, let's see what happened in that game.
Okay, we already had...
What about Hedin? Is he a creative player? Is he a rather...
No, he likes to have everything under control.
So that position we just saw seems very unlike him.
Yeah. So much so that, he likes to prepare everything. Sometimes he's at his computer, like right before the game.
Yeah.
So what some local players have done against him is to just completely, improvise, play something they haven't played before, and he will spend a lot of time. And maybe that's what Alander is doing, I don't know, because this looks like a Benoni if you go knight f6, but you haven't played knight f6. So you can play knight d7, so already he's taking the game into territory that Hedin would not recognize or be familiar with. Yeah. So knight d6, probably wants to put the bishop on e7, maybe try to exchange it at some point. So g3, bishop e7. And h4, it's probably a good move. He's both playing against the idea of playing bishop g5. And he also has some ideas of going h5,
yeah.
and asking his knight to state its case. Do you want to be there or go somewhere else? Also, we could play h6, maybe. But black doesn't care. He just goes. He castles.
Yeah.
And he allows h5, h5, h6, which perhaps isn't much of a problem, because if we go h5 and h6, we just go g6, and then we can just fianchet our bishop, and we don't have to worry about an attack down the h file, because white took care of blocking it.
White's going to have to start thinking about developing his pieces at some point.
Yeah. We've had some examples of people not developing and not taking care of their king, and they have paid for it so far in this tournament. Well, let's see. Here there's moving a lot of pawns, grabbing all the space on the king side.
Yeah.
But is it too much? h5. The knight retreats, and another pawn move, g4. Quite ambitious.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Bishop h4 check, and king to d2. So it looks like he wants to castle by hand.
It's funny how White has only moved his knight to c3 and his king to d2, hasn't touched any other piece. To move 12, so very peculiar position here.
Yeah.
To be honest, I have no clue what's going on here.
No. Yeah, it looks rather weird.
I think that if...
Well, he will try to attack, and this bishop is a little bit loose right now. Maybe we can
I think that if
play
White's
g5
attack doesn't go anywhere, he'll have to be careful.
Yeah. We'll see. That's definitely one to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, so we'll come back to this. We're now going to go to board 14, a young Norwegian player, Lars Oskar Hauge, who is playing against Danish Grandmaster Alan Stig Rasmussen.
So we have the dots here, only h6, and yeah, White probably must take. We can't go to h4 because g5, so he takes, queen takes f6. So once again we see one player getting the bishop here, but in this case White has got a lead in development. After e4, we see d6, e takes f5, e takes f5, bishop c4. Black attacks the pawn on d4, and White simply gives it up. Interesting. Black accepts the gift, and rook e1, and we see another king that must move pretty quickly, because if he blocks, we can well, queen e2 is probably a good move, but queen h5 forces the king to a square such as d8. It looks like White should have good play from here.
Are you not going to get in trouble with those hanging pieces? You need to defend.
Yeah, I can just play something like rook e2.
But I was wondering, can I play bishop g5?
Very aggressive.
Maybe you can play c3.
I can win some time with c3. I can start with rook e1 probably.
Okay.
Yeah, probably rook e1.
Bishop
Bishop
d7.
And yeah, probably we can play c3 here. But Black has a pawn out though, so we have to be careful not to allow him to escape. Okay, we have bishop e7 on the board. So this is the current position. And queen h5 looks really natural.
Yeah.
With the
I do quite like White here, but again, Black has the bishop here.
Yeah, I think I would prefer White.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah.
Another one that could get really interesting rather quickly. So
we will come back to this one. We will now go back to the Hagen-Hansen game. Board 8.
Whoa!
Some things are heating up. Where did we leave the game?
We left after c5.
Yeah.
When white took on c4, and after b5, knight e5. So although things looked somewhat on fire, it's just an exchange of pieces of equal value. B takes c4 and bishop takes a8. So everything is still equal, but the position is still, it's quite unbalanced. So yeah, we can expect that.
Would you like to be here?
I'm not sure. Probably white if I had to choose.
Bishop pair?
Yeah, bishop pair, and well, I want to take on c4 if it does nothing.
Yeah. The time situation, white is doing well.
Yeah, white is doing well on the clock. So
10 minutes, and Eric usually does play rather quickly, so that might indicate that things have at least not gone the way he expected.
Yeah, that white is better prepared, definitely. So black to move here, takes on e5. Quite often when you allow this bishop to come here, sometimes as an exchange sacrifice, you want to block the bishop from coming back to this important diagonal. But that could be one idea. I'm not sure it works, but not sure it works. So I can also play queen a4, start attacking some pawns.
Can I try to get my bishop out via c6?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe I try to go back to c2 via a4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not even blocking
but
it.
Maybe black can play queen a5.
Mm-hmm. We can still play here.
Yeah.
Maybe bishop b2 first, just to keep our pawns. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's
a strange positions with those doubled a pawns, doubled c pawns.
Looks nice for white. For white, we did play knight d5. Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you want to move on to another game?
Yeah.
How about another Chinese player on board 13, Rui Gao, facing Victor Shen from, you believe?
I think he's American rather than Canadian.
Okay, so
Amerikanski. Yeah, we just go here. We have a standard. I think Chicorin in the Spanish, Rui Lopez.
So he's indeed from the USA, Victor Chen.
And okay, knight b3, a5, bishop e3. And not much going on. Seems like a position that has been played hundreds of times. White is employing all the standard moves, so we're going to go back to
Birthday boy.
Birthday boy.
Alex Fear from Brazil.
Fear with no fear. Plenty of time on the clock.
27 today.
We left after bishop d3. Asserman went queen c7, hitting this guy. Can we get hitting this guy? So g3, protecting it. a5, often a standard move to get your knight safe on this square. So there's no b4. Rook e2. Yeah, note that of course you can never take because this is hanging. So rook e2, f5, finally opening up for this bishop on g7. And note though, that we have the e4 square perhaps available in some cases. So rook fe1. And
our birthday boy is he's still time up.
Yeah, he's still up on the clock from where it started.
Yeah.
Usually that means that a player is prepared, but sometimes...
I think Alex is a very, very confident player.
Yeah, sometimes he can be a bit of a bluff. You just feel.
Yeah, he just wants to head off to the disco.
Yeah, maybe. But he's the kind of player that, I mean, he doesn't always care about the result. I mean, he's willing to play just to have fun, just to sacrifice some pieces, and okay, if he loses, then okay, I'll just win the next one.
And he does love chess.
Yeah.
We were talking about, I briefly mentioned the opening party, which was held here on Monday night or Sunday night?
Yeah, Monday.
Sunday, probably. We started on Monday.
You're right.
So Sunday night, and Alex was just blitzing with everyone, and there was some funny games, like some really funny games. So come to Reykjavik Open. We're all having a great time here.
He was playing everybody in the blitz. So, did you have a move?
You know, it's never nice, I think, to be in that position Esserman is in, where your opponent just blitzes out all his moves. They've been playing 21 moves.
Yeah.
Alex is still up on time, so you should try not to let that influence you, but it's difficult not to feel the pressure, I think, you know.
Yeah. Because, every move you're trying to find a way to sort of avoid your opponent's preparation and get a position that you can just start playing chess. So we're going to go back to Stopa.
And after that we can also have a look at Hauge, because Sarah Carlson in the chat is telling us that he played a Queen H4 check, as we said. And she's cheering for him because he's a brave boy to attack like that. So we will go back to that after the Stopa game.
So G3, well, actually not much has happened. We just looked at that one. And do we have moves? No, just G3. That's where we left it off, so not really much to look at, really. I think white is definitely for choice here, like we said. I wonder why he plays G3. Does he want to
bring the bishop to H3?
Maybe he wants to put on H3, because if we exchange slide square bishops, then a square such as F5 is a really good outpost for a knight.
Yeah.
He would stick it right here if he could.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I think white would also, if possible, still like to castle, activate that rook.
Yeah, maybe he thought that, okay, bishop E2 castles. Maybe he thought that the bishop on E2 is not really doing much, so he wanted to have it influencing the action, put it on H3. Also spent the move to sort of make this rook on G8 be doing nothing. And then castle, and white should be good. Yeah. I like white here.
Me too.
He should win this pawn eventually if he wants, and meanwhile black doesn't have very good coordination.
Also white is almost half an hour up on time, so quite like white here.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a look at Lars Oskar Hauge on board 14, playing Allan Stig Rasmussen from Denmark. So
Queen H5.
We have those moves we predicted.
King D8.
Okay. How to continue the attack now?
So now we have this knight attacked. We can't move it because then
maybe we could play a move like Queen F7, but then black just
then Queen F6, and we
just Queen F6. We want to go
have
back.
to move it again. Okay, it doesn't work, but of course we have to look at a move like this. Yeah. But it's hard to see it working. Okay, we have rook E1, but we sacrifice material, so we really have to find something.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find something there after.
And we have a tweet about this game, a tweet from a chess journalist from Norway, Tarjei Svensson. That tells us that 16-year-old Lars Oskar Hauge has 2 IM norms. After winning the Nordic Under-16 Championship last month, I asked him when his 3rd would come, and he said in the next event.
Which is
here.
So yeah, he has something to back up, big words to back up. And, well, he's going for it in this game, definitely.
You know, all these guys, Hauge, Tari, we have a lot of them here. Mihailov, they are all from the chess school in Norway, the NTG, which is led by Simon Achterstein. So they have a lot of young and talented players coming up. And the Norwegians, a bit like the Chinese, don't like to... I lived in Norway for almost a year, and I lost almost 150 points, so I don't like playing Norwegians too much anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so king d8, white to move. So rook takes e7 doesn't seem to work. If it did, it would be game over.
Yeah.
Rook e2 seems natural. But actually, yeah, this... although there was one idea we missed earlier. If we go bishop g5, we can go knight f3 and take on g5, which is maybe dangerous.
Black cannot take back, obviously, because the rook is hanging on h8, and we had a move.
Yeah, rook e2, yeah.
Rook e2 was played by Lars.
Okay, so yeah, we can play this.
Yeah.
And it looks very good for white. Of course, there's also a check on f7. We can't take because of this.
An interesting position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next, white is going to double on the e-file. So we could do, I don't know, just to try some moves. Bishop f6 is probably safer. There's nothing, I mean, nothing clear for white. It doesn't really threaten anything. But I mean, all the pieces are nicely placed, but where do you break through?
Yeah. What if, can I go bishop e6?
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to try and get rid of this bishop. Yeah, it's a good move. And then try and get this f5 pawn. I mean, if we win a pawn back, then we're doing great.
Yeah.
We could have started with c3.
Exactly.
If we're worried about these pawns, but probably we shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's hard
Queen
to
somewhere,
find.
yeah, and bishop e6.
But maybe after c3, can black maybe go to
yeah,
g4?
Maybe queen g4, trying to exchange some pieces. That's one idea, definitely.
I think bishop e6 immediately
probably the last move.
might work. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, maybe not so clear. It's definitely easier to play it with white because you just play attacking moves, but black has to spend time to find defensive moves. Let's look back at
I
Fear
don't
and
quite
Asserman.
like white here, because another thing, these young Norwegians, they're not just really good and well prepared, but I also find them very confident for their young age.
I agree.
I mean, as Tarjei just told us, you have to have quite some confidence.
He declared he would get a norm here, and that would be pretty impressive. So what was white's last move? Rook f to e1. And we're wondering if Fear was playing too fast on this move, because maybe he missed something. Bishop takes b2. And if he missed something, then that's a free pawn. Because if we take it, there's knight takes d3, losing a queen.
He has just started thinking for the first time in the entire game.
Yeah.
Hopefully he wasn't thinking about the discos too much.
Maybe he looks quite uncomfortable. Yeah, he didn't.
He probably missed this.
Definitely blundered. Meanwhile, Asserman is laying back, feeling quite confident.
Yeah. So it's very likely he just missed bishop takes.
And if he missed that, then black is doing quite well.
Yeah. Because now black will also, he will get the b4 square if he wants to reroute his bishop there.
Yeah, he can go here and threaten this.
A lot of squares.
Yeah, it's obvious he missed this.
Yeah.
I think it's time to go back to the top boards. It's been a while since we looked at what's...
You want to go back to board 1?
Yeah, let's start with Navarra.
Board 2 then?
Yes, I heard there's some action going on there, and we also like to look at the Icelandic guys. Bishop d6. This is where we left things off. He must have played queen e2. If you play a developing move, you're inviting trouble, because you can probably take on e5, or can we? Well, we can take with the d pawn, but if we were somewhat clumsy, let's say bishop takes e5 and take with the f pawn, and this knight takes e5 and the queen is hanging.
Yep.
So some consideration like this led to queen e2. We move the bishop again, bishop e7. Interesting. Third bishop move in a row. Let's go back. You went bishop b4 check, c3, bishop d6, queen e2. And now there's a new situation, so it goes to e7.
Sometimes, you know, I find it very hard when I look at these top Grandmaster games. I find that sometimes they are a bit hard to understand for us mortal players.
I mean, we're told not to move the same piece twice, and he's moving it for a third time, hasn't yet moved the knight on g8 out. So, can he get away with this? We'll see. h5. This pawn was attacked. Finally, he develops the knight, but now f5. An aggressive move by white. And these guys actually, they have a history. They did play at the Czech Open many years ago, probably 12 years now. And Navarro was really young then. And actually Gunnarsson had the winning position against him. But Navarro managed to swindle in the time trouble, and he was so happy that he ran a few victory lapses around the big hall where we were playing. And you're most slightly annoyed, you know. I was winning.
David Navarro obviously was already a very strong player.
Yeah, he was already very strong at a young age, so no shame there in losing. So 97, and what's going on here? White wants to attack. It doesn't really have many pieces attacking, so maybe this isn't much to worry about for Navarra.
And on your screens, the names are wrong. This is not the Mamedjarov game, it's the Gunnarsson Navarra game we're looking at right now. So just a small mistake will be fixed in a second. So what is going on here?
So white to move.
At first sight, I quite like white.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe that's because I'm too optimistic. But
I mean, it seems like we could take, but
can I simply take and castle?
That's one idea. Why not? Black can't castle. He probably must castle queenside. So maybe, I don't know. Queen c7, maybe queen p6 even.
Yeah, I also want to bring my queen to g4 as soon as. Could I do that before castling? Probably not. Pawn is hanging.
Yeah,
g7 is also okay. There's a check on d3. No, it's too much. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's maybe not clear. You can take on g7 or e6, and the check isn't necessarily anything to worry about.
We did tell people to get their kings into safety,
did,
though.
but
doesn't look very safe on e2.
No, that's true though. Ah, Don Roberto. Can you please get my ultra cold Coke from the fridge before it turns to ice? Thank you. Okay. Now, yeah. Now, do it. Do it now.
So you see the players on screen.
So they haven't.
I don't see Ingvar on screen.
We had to.
It hasn't moved. Ah, thank you. We have a new sponsor.
So the last move was knight d7, and white is now thinking. I do quite instinctively, I would probably take on e6 and castle, and then take it. Do you think black wants to castle queenside?
Yeah.
So
you can't really. It's hard to organize.
Maybe give
casting.
a check.
Yeah, I thought you might give a check.
Bishop e3.
Because bishop e3, bishop c5 maybe.
Bishop c5.
Yeah, maybe that's
that looks okay for black.
Yeah,
actually.
because if we take on c5.
Once the king castles queenside,
is fine.
he will be safe there. So yeah, let's go back. John Victor is still thinking.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you should take on f5 or not.
Maybe you shouldn't take.
But what to do?
Yeah.
Maybe, bro.
Maybe castle right away? Or do
yes, maybe castle. I'm not sure if I want the castle king or queen side for white.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe...
that is a fair point. Can I play a move like knight e4? I'm not sure what my plan is yet, but if you take...
If I take...
Which you probably don't want to do, I'll give a check here. I'm willing to give up some material, but I'm not sure.
I think this should something like this should be fine for white. You just protect the pawn.
Yeah,
I think such a pawn is worth a pawn.
Castle now?
Yeah, castle.
And white has come.
The quick bishop f4. Yeah, it's just a great position for white.
Yeah, very strong pawn here. d6.
Yeah, I don't think you would go for that. Maybe you can just take on e5 rather than take on f5. And let's see, we could take on...
Yeah.
Take on e6, play bishop f4 maybe. Maybe something like this is interesting actually for white.
Yeah.
Because the knight on e4 is quite strong, and if you can take on e5, let's say bishop f6 or something. Maybe we take on e5, we play rook d1, queen g4 at some point. Black plays something like queen c7 or queen b6.
Oh, and we have a move.
Yeah. Oh, we have a move, okay.
He did take on e6.
He took on e6, okay. And Navarra should recapture back immediately.
So I wonder what he will do now.
Yeah. John Victor actually, I think he's quite a strong attacking player. He won some nice games in the past. I think he's really dangerous with the initiative, and interesting to see what he comes up with here. I would like to play something like bishop f4, but I don't like it after bishop c5.
You still want to castle queenside?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, castling kingside might be just okay because we stop black from castling.
I think John Victor will have to speed up a little bit. He's
down to 35 minutes against 126.
Yeah, so
that's
already 50 minutes down on the clock.
Yeah.
And we haven't even reached move 20.
That can be problematic.
Yeah. So let's go to our top board.
Okay.
Mehmet Yarov against Simon Becker-Jensen. Haven't looked at that in a while. We left things. We left things off around here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not getting very much help here at the moment.
Got it.
So yeah, a4 took on e4, takes bishop f5, queen b3. White has expanded.
Yeah, he wants to expand on the
queen side.
Queen side, but counter-attack on the center. That's what they say, and he does. Knight e4, knight e6, rook at d1,
and queen
to
f6.
f6.
And that is our current position. Mehmet Yarov, is this the longest he's spent on a game so far in the tournament?
Definitely. We always have these high-rated, strong players who play really fast. Last year we had Richard Rapport.
Exactly.
Was also quite a fast player.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, black should be okay. I mean, white has better space advantage here, but nothing, nothing too drastic. Do you frequently get to time trouble, or do you play fast yourself?
I think I don't have a typical shortcoming that I always get into time trouble. It does happen. It really depends on the game. I think a lot, for me personally, depends on how well I know the opening. Also, you know, sometimes I can just start daydreaming and just dream my time away and suddenly realize I need to wake up.
Oh, I have to make a move.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it does happen, but
yeah, I have the same problem. I'll be calculating some lines.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden, oh look, a boy in a blue T-shirt. Oh, it's my move. You know, so I tend to get into time trouble because of stuff like this. So.
But also, it is like, of course, you still get into time trouble with this time control. But like when I started playing chess, when we were playing with the old time control, 40 moves in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Plus 1 hour, plus half an hour. Like the time troubles were much more stressful.
Did you ever play when there were tournaments?
No, I played this for this great club in the London League called the Drunken Knights.
Yeah.
And so we do play in pubs. It's not FIDE rated, and there are still adjournments in that.
Oh, really?
So I did have the only time I ever adjourned a game, the day before it was supposed to be adjourned, I just emailed the guy and I resigned because I realized my position was just so bad.
A lot of people don't know that it's still legal to adjourn games.
Yeah, well, they are not FIDE rated.
Oh, okay.
But, and they have this.
I think it's legal. We can ask the main arbiter here. Yeah. Isn't it legal still to adjourn games?
No, it's still in the part of the FIDE laws of chess. It's still moved from the main law, the pre-phases.
Okay.
So I would think that it is still legal, but I have never ever heard of it.
But I think our producers they had this tournament in the Netherlands by the ACP.
Last year in Bergamo.
And then, it had adjournments as well.
Yeah,
so
it's the same tournament 2 years after the first.
Okay, so there was this.
Now I heard about some tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not in the main laws, but some others, so it should be.
They were not.
Should be legal.
No, but it could have been.
Okay, so we're told there were 2 tournaments organized by the ACP. The first one in 2012, and the next one 2 years later in Bergamo, Italy, last year. They were very strong tournaments with Ivan Shuk, so a lot of strong players. But we are told they were not FIDE rated, although they could have been.
Ah, okay, yeah.
I believe that a lot of players would not like to play adjournments with FIDE rated, because it would eventually come down to who has the better engine.
Yeah, of course, that's why they quit doing it. But maybe, I mean, there are pros and cons. You have the same thing with openings. I mean, people can prepare openings and have computer prepared lines.
Exactly.
Maybe with endgame positions or even late middle game positions.
Yeah.
It's more specific because maybe the best lines are more forced, but still, I mean, both guys have the same engine, so I mean, it's still gonna most likely come down to who can play the better chess.
So we had a move.
Yeah, and okay, G3. He just wants to prevent this knight from jumping into this dangerous square here on F4. And yeah, he's trying to keep control here with the white pieces. Nothing concrete going on right now, but
Simon is doing okay.
Yeah, I think I like white, but nothing. I can't see how he is.
I think if you're playing Mamediyarov as black, this is this. Before the game, you'd probably sign up to get out of the opening with this kind of position.
Yeah, probably you'd sign off to play this position after 70 moves.
Yeah. So we will return to this in a while.
Have you seen anything interesting in the chat?
No. Struggling, but there seems to be more action on the chat this afternoon. People keep being unsure of whether we can read them, follow them. So yes, we do. I try to do it more than Ingvar while he takes you to the chess. I keep an eye on the chat. So yes, we do.
We can see
most
it.
of them know because they know that we have been replying to them. And also, you guys can also send us your comments on Twitter. Hashtag Reykjavik Open. So
you can also see those.
Both of those are fine. Chat or Twitter, and we'll try to get back to any questions or comments. Or
yeah, if you have some interesting questions.
Ingvar gets some special requests. So yeah, just let us know.
Special requests.
Yeah. So, which game do you want to go to?
We're already opened up the Alienov game against Nikita Petrov.
That's our board 3 game.
Yeah. Alienov is nursing the bishop here and a slight space advantage.
We've already been getting 2 requests
Black is really solid
on the chat to look at Bennett's game, but I don't think that he's on the live boards.
Who?
He was the player who made a draw against Jean-Ludwig Hammer. He's on board 93.
Damn, yeah. He lost against your boyfriend in the second round, so he only has half a point.
That is true. So unfortunately we only have the top 20 boards, so if he does win a couple more games, we will be able to look at him. So, Elianov.
I like the new newsflash thing at the top of the screen.
Looks like our producers are having fun here.
Birthday boy loses his pawn on B2. 33 players still on a perfect score. Round 3 started at 17 o'clock. Welcome to your local news. I'm Ben Davison. Birthday boy Alexander Fear has lost his pawn on B2. Rapidly dirty. So let's have a look at Alexander Fear losing his pawn on B2. Over to you, Fiona.
I'm sorry. Sorry. I was saying earlier how we might have a glass of wine later. I might need that.
Yeah, I haven't had one yet.
You are on top form today, so. So yeah, Alex Fear, he missed bishop b2.
So bishop b1.
We're fairly certain he missed it.
Yeah. So now
judging from his body language on the webcam.
Now he threatens to take on b2.
Yeah.
But bishop f6 retreats, and now bishop e5.
Someone has put his hoodie on.
Yeah. Ah, yeah, he had the
they were both playing
t-shirt on earlier, but then he realized he's playing in Iceland. And, well, what's going on right now?
Okay.
Knight e5, and why can't we take this knight?
Shall we just have a look?
Winning a pawn. But what's the issue? Is the issue knight takes f5 maybe? Because, okay, we can stick in taking on e2, but whichever way we do it, let's say this way. So was queen g5 check, and now it's hanging on c6, and probably it's even stronger to stick in this move and then take on c6.
And then
well, actually, we have to watch out for knight e4 check, but even still, it looks dangerous. Something like this, maybe not exactly like this, but very similar. He takes on e5 though. Bishop takes e5. So now f takes e5 looks rather forced. And again, taking the pawn on e5 looks forced because, well, otherwise white will just play something like knight g2, keep the pawn, and we have two really strong pawns. And okay, Fear almost didn't sit down before he made his move. Alexander Fear makes a quick move.
It's incredible, you know, that we are fairly sure, just blundered upon, and still he didn't.
Still he keeps on blitzing.
Yeah. He's a very tricky player. You know, when I watch quite a lot of chess commentary myself when I'm at home, and a phrase that stuck with me is some players, you need to not beat them once, but you need to beat them a couple of times. And I think Alex is one of them. He's a very, very tricky, very resourceful player. So it might be that Black is doing extremely well, but he still has a long way to go to possibly win this game.
Okay, we'll come back
we will
to this one quickly. Possibly.
We'll go
we
back.
had developments on board too.
We had a move, but we will come back to this later.
Yeah, he took an e5. Yeah, you're right.
I have Thiago Gomez on the chat saying that Fier might win on time.
Yeah, possibly.
You never know.
Possibly, maybe. So, current position in Johannesson against David Navarra. We'll have to do where? H5, knight G6, F5, yeah. Knight takes, blah, blah, blah. He took an E6 and he did castle. You were right. Yeah. Bishop C5. And now, of course, we have to play Bishop E3. We can't allow checkmate in 1. That's usually bad, like we already mentioned. So Bishop E3, Queen G5. White took on C5. And Black has to take on D6, yeah. C5, I mean, because we can't allow this bishop to stay on the board too strong.
Exactly.
So we took on C5, and now the question is Queen F2 a dangerous move, as pointed out by our producers.
Our excellent producers.
Our excellent producers, I apologize. Jon Victor is not one to miss such a move if indeed if it is a good move.
So he is both attacking the knight on a C5 and
yeah.
threatening to give a check.
Yeah.
On F7.
Double attack, sort of a double attack.
Yeah.
Double attack can be attacking 2 pieces, but also maybe attack a piece and threaten something.
I wonder, it doesn't work right now because I was thinking of just bringing the king into safety.
Yeah,
the only problem is that the A7
pawn is A7. Yeah, and we can play rook F2 after rook D2. Rook D2, I can play rook F2. Still, maybe black can take on F2, queen takes F2, queen takes E5. Yeah. And we have this classical white weakness in the Caro-Kann, the H5 pawn. Yeah. So that's possibly something that Navarra can do. But still, I mean, it's not a lot of pieces left. That's definitely...
oh, sorry.
It's definitely an option.
So
yeah, maybe
that is the position. Yeah. Queen F2, I think that's what he's probably thinking about, but yeah. He has to start playing faster because he's down to 26 minutes. Mm-hmm. Still has to make 20 moves, so he's going, oh, he just played Queen F2. He
did play Queen F2. And the best thing, you see many players do this, that when their opponent plays a move that they think that is surprising them, like Queen F2, to castle immediately, just to be like, yeah, I saw that, man, come on, I saw that already. Who do you think I am? So, well, but Navarra, he's too nice, he just thinks about it.
Some people are saying that GM Fier was in the chat yesterday during the game, which is correct. But he also, him and Nino joined us this morning after their game, which was really nice, and which you can see the replay of, I believe, online. Is that correct?
Yeah.
People can see replay.
The replay, can we see it on live stream or?
Yeah, so
it's on live stream. Yeah.
If you want to watch this morning's replay of the show, GM Fier and his girlfriend, woman GM Maizuradze, joined us on the show and gave us their thoughts on the game, which was really interesting.
So probably castles might be maybe the only move. I don't know. Queen E7 protects the knight, but then maybe we kick it away with B4 and then follow up with knight E4 at some point, which could be rather annoying for black. Let's say something like this. We maybe have to protect this first and then go knight E4, maybe.
Also now black won't be as comfortable castling queenside anymore after a move like B4.
So quick look at long castles again. We wanted to take on C5.
What do you think about Navarra's body language here?
He's hard to read. He's hard to read. He's usually looks more or less the same. He's
very focused. Unlike Alex Fier, for example, you won't see him walking around much. Oh, and he did.
Castles, Queen takes D3.
Yeah.
And do we have? And yeah, you notice the link at the bottom of your screen where you can watch old broadcasts from this tournament. So if you see something interesting that you want to watch again, then there's your link.
Yeah.
So I guess we have to take the piece now. Here Jon comes back to the board. Let's try to see if, well, he must have seen long castles.
Got himself a glass of water for the upcoming time trouble.
Yeah. I like how the glass of, the water glasses are actually beer glasses, but maybe they can use them after the tournament, or after the game to have something,
glasses.
to have a proper drink.
Yeah.
Okay, a quick look. It looks rather forced, this line, if you take on a7.
Yeah. I was also wondering. No, I wasn't. Oh, okay, rook f2.
Yeah, come and give a check, though.
Yeah, but after rook f2. What was my point? Yeah, I want to play rook f2, but you can take with the queen, forcing me to take back. I was thinking about a line like rook f2, rook takes, queen check, but doesn't work at all. King c7. Give another check. Oh,
we have these moves. Okay. They just arrived.
And we see Alex fear. There is a lot going on in his own game, but he's
more interested in this game.
This game.
Actually, since Fear is walking around, then he already made the move, so we should go back to his game. Where are you, my friend? Orgasm. And we have this, okay, rook takes e5.
Predicted.
And we have this idea that we already predicted.
We've been predicting a lot of moves today.
Yes. We're sharp in the second round of the day. Judging by the body language, he missed something. He's shaking his head.
Doesn't look, he looked much happier maybe half an hour ago.
Happier and relaxed, and Fear also looked quite relaxed looking at other games.
We see Fear who keeps pacing by.
Yeah, we see a lot of faces. We see Gummi there sitting in the background.
Exactly.
Yeah, he probably missed that. He played bishop takes e5 rather quickly himself.
So we now have equal material.
Yeah, let's look at some lines. If he takes on, takes on e2, we take back with the rook, and once we take this piece, then we're going to take on c6.
Yeah.
Maybe even flick in queen takes f5, threatening mate. Maybe it might not be better, but shouldn't
how do you actually
shouldn't hurt our position. We have to play something like f6.
It's the only move in the position.
And then we force you to take with the pawn. Yeah, we take on f6 first. Yeah, that's true. That's looking quite bad. Even lost. And then rook e7. Well, okay, we have to watch out. Rook e7.
Yeah. Maybe just take on c6.
But rook e7 probably works also.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, because even if this worked, which it doesn't, we can also just play here. So yeah, so he probably can't take.
Look at Black, he's not happy.
Yeah, he's not happy. He's very unhappy actually.
Yeah. I always find it interesting to look at people's body language. Like there are some players, you know, from the top players, I think Magnus Carlsen, he's a very expressive player.
Yeah.
Sometimes I actually find
like after he blundered against Steil-Antoni, he was so relieved. You know, he didn't even hide it. But some players can hide it.
Yeah, and it's interesting. And this player, as someone, you can quite obviously tell that he is not happy.
No, he plays a lot of bullet chess online, so he likes the emotion. I played with him. We once played 138 bullet games in a row in a match.
Is that some sort of death match?
No, well, personal deathmatch, but
Okay, so we go back to board 11, which
yeah, we
was
haven't
a
looked
strange game.
in a while. The King D2 game.
Grimson against Islander.
We shall christen it the King D2 game. Okay, we were slightly worried about this bishop. Maybe G5 is on the card, trapping it, so he moved it back. Now Queen F3. A6, still a lot of pawn moves. G5. look at the back rank. You know, still we're on move what?
Move 14.
Move 14 here, and 5 pieces still on the back rank. Well, black actually isn't doing much greater.
At least his pieces have moved already.
Yeah, at least he
landed
but
on
not very
F8.
recently. Hey, Björn Torfason walking there.
Good friend Björn.
Very good friend. And let's see, bishop d4, knight g2, e2. Finally developing something. f5. King is in the center. Black wants to open things up.
Yeah.
Knight takes d4. C takes d4. The knight must retreat, and now knight bd7. And knight f2. Actually, the king isn't doing too badly on d2.
But look at Hidden, he spent 50 minutes more than his opponent.
And that's probably why.
You were saying that he was a very positional player who likes to have things under control, and this is not the kind of
also
position.
he likes to be in preparation.
Yeah.
And just like we said, he was obviously surprised, so he's spending a lot of time, just like we talked about. But still, it looks like he has things under control for the moment. I mean, if he can play, we don't really have to play bishop somewhere yet, but bishop d3, b3, bishop e2, and then where is black's play coming from? It's hard to really threaten the king.
I would quite like to have a black squared bishop somewhere.
Yeah, black is missing a black squared bishop, definitely. I actually like...
I quite like white.
I like white here. Yeah. So we are being told that...
the young Russian, Nikita Petrov,
is playing bravely. And Thomas Vega Sigurðarson asks, are you a policeman? No, I'm a painter. That's a local joke. I can't explain it. I'm sorry, I can't explain it. It's so local. Anyway, he sent this tweet to other broadcasts, and we have a group of friends that laugh about it. But yeah, you have to understand Icelandic too. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So we left around here. He took on d5, b4, and castles and kingside.
Okay, so he's not afraid.
He's not afraid. Well, he has the castle somewhere. I mean, the castle queenside, there's b5.
Okay,
opening things up, but...
Let's have a look. Castle. Can we play h4? I just want to...
yeah, that makes sense.
Go for the king.
And the idea presumably is to play g5 and try and get something going on the h-file. And it just looks, you know, opening things up with f6, f5 just looks suicidal. You're going to be left with too many weak pawns. So how does he even...
how does he meet h4?
Yeah.
And h4
he played it immediately. Didn't he?
So sharp.
Show me the money. Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder if castling kingside was brave or if it was overconfident.
It feels like too much. I mean, if Elyanov just sits down and almost plays h4 immediately, then obviously there's something wrong with it.
Okay, so we will come back to this. I think Petrov's going to take some time now. And
Shall we look at...
we'll go to board 18.
Johannesson?
Exactly. He's
we could actually go to the webcam of the Esserman Fear game because they're in the background.
That is true.
So maybe we can see some reaction. Let's quickly go over the game. We see them there, the board behind, Gumi on the left.
Gerard
with his
Welling.
hand in front of his face.
Yeah.
Well, he's being blocked now by somebody walking. Hand in front of his face, and Gerard Welling being blocked by the guy in the red sweater. Older gentleman, Gerard Welling. I think, is he Dutch or Belgian?
Welling is Dutch. Yeah.
Welling is Dutch, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's played here a couple of times before as well.
Yeah, I've seen him before.
You know, I think that is very nice about Reykjavik Open. A lot of the people who play here tend to come back just because.
Look at this man, look at him. I can laugh at him, we're friends. He was so disgusted, that was so funny.
I think as commentators, we're not allowed.
Of course, I'm not. I can. If I know the person, it's okay.
Yeah.
If I didn't know him, then it would be, yeah.
Okay, so let's.
So we have
opening.
The color system by white, solid line, but perhaps not very ambitious. But okay, I mean, white is very solid. I'm sorry, we have to turn off receiving the moves. He plays e4, the standard break. And actually, the color is basically the semi-Slav with colors reversed, so a solid line. And now we have an isolated pawn position. We had one before in the tournament, Aljanov's game in the morning, where you talked with, where you and Peter were talking about it.
Don't like isolated pawns very much.
Yeah, and yeah, the rule of thumb is that black wants to exchange pieces and play against this weakness on d4. Meanwhile, white will try to create dynamic play. So let's quickly go over some moves. Queen d3, okay, threatening to take on f6 with mate, so g6. Meanwhile, Esserman is still disgusted. Rook f1, bishop e7.
Witty virgin on the chat telling us that Esserman looks like he could use a hug. So
I'll buy him a beer, it's okay. He'll be okay. Rook e8, bishop a4 attacking this rook, knight d7.
Invite him to Fier's birthday party.
Where they can go over the game.
You shouldn't have allowed knight takes f5.
Bishop takes f3, what's going on here? Queen takes d7. We have some exchanges, and rook e8, bishop takes e6. Is Gummi messing up? Bishop b4, or is he being clever?
Gummi is not looking too happy, I think.
At the moment, he's down a pawn and staring into the air. And it's his move. Yeah. No, we have a move. Okay, we have to receive the move. Rook e5. What's the move? Seems to me that the clock is pointing to Welling.
Yeah.
From here. So we should receive a move any second.
So
I haven't really figured out what's going on. If rook e5, if you move the bishop somewhere. Oh, thank you, Alf Hansen.
Look at the
yes, Esserman with his friend Jakov Norowitz.
Probably off to tell him what an idiot.
Off to tell him what he's going to drink after the game.
Yeah.
Can't believe I missed this move, man.
I think it's so difficult once you start beating yourself up during a game. It's hard to find your focus again.
Yeah, that's been a weakness of mine as well. I tend to do that, you know. When you blunder, I can't keep on fighting, but some people can do that.
I think you just like need to, at these moments, just take a deep breath, refocus, and just look at it like, just take it as a new position. Try and forget what happened.
Somebody is saying that the game on the video is not the same as on the board. That's correct. That's because they're in the background. The game we're looking at is actually the board that we can't see, but we thought it would be nice to see the players and the reaction if something happened.
So the play on the left is our good friend, local player Gudmundur Kjartansson. Exactly.
Yeah, so they zoomed for us there.
And on the right is Dutch I.M.
Gerard Welling.
Yeah.
So at the moment, Welling is
Just to make clear that the head on the right corner does not belong to the game.
What?
Well, Alexander Spear's head does not.
Yeah, okay.
belong to the game.
Yeah, Gummi looks a bit uneasy, but let's see. White is up a pawn at the moment. It's black's move. But what happens if you just retreat? Let's try a square, and then we can take on d4, right?
Yes.
And then everything is equal. Yeah, maybe not. Nothing too dramatic going on in this game, actually.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to something a bit more.
Maybe go back to board 2. Jon Victor Gunnarsson against David Navarro.
Aha, let's go back. We had queen takes c5. As we predicted, he took on g3, queen takes a7. And for some reason, he didn't go rook d2. So maybe we missed something obvious. Could he have played this and then rook f7 check? So even though black is threatening mate, white arrives first.
I completely forgot the f-file was open.
Yeah, if you play rook d7, then we're just simply losing because we take on h8.
What's blue? We have a blue...
Yeah, so he can't play.
Can you see that on the webcam? It almost looks like there's some blue light coming in from outside.
They're playing right next to a window.
Yeah, it's the window that... Okay, so instead he played rook d7. And now the question is, could he have played queen a8 check, which he didn't. King c7 is forced. And now if you take on h8, there's rook d2. And now it's the tables are turned. Now the queen is too far away. We can't take on g7 because that's protected.
Yeah.
Also, we can't no longer play rook f2 because we don't have the queen on a7, protecting the square. So we can't really protect the mate. We can give a check. But again, this rook on d2 does what it's supposed to do here, protects d8, so there's no check on d8.
It looks like either David Navarro or Jon Victor, either they have some fans. So the game is
got a lot of people watching.
Very interesting.
Mamediyarov
Gawain,
paying attention.
Gawain Jones on the left.
Let's get the current position. This looks like black should be winning in this line, but okay, instead he played rook at d1. Rook takes on d1. We're getting moves here. Queen takes e5, queen a8, check. And Navarro has played queen b8, to which Jon has replied queen takes b8 and king takes b8. And this means that Jon will get a rook on the 7th, and aren't things looking good for white?
Yep.
Rook d7 is the automatic move. Everybody should know you should put your rook on the 7th. And what's better is that it's attacking something.
And I think even though David Navarro doesn't give too much away, like, he doesn't look...
As you said, he looks quite sad compared to earlier.
Yeah.
And usually when you see a lot of people gathering around the board like this at an open tournament, then something is going on, and there's definitely something going on.
He has already played rook g8.
Yeah. If you have to play rook g8, I mean, such a passive move.
He's just losing a pawn.
Yeah, we play rook e7.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't write David off yet.
No.
Usually players at this level tend to be really good in ending such as this, and quite often they save draws when most of us would just give up and lose.
But I think there is no way white can lose this.
Yeah, probably at this point it's going to be hard for white to lose, but what can you win? That's going to be the question. If rook e7, maybe, well, this looks quite good for white actually. Okay, we'll keep an eye on this.
And
this
also,
could be
what is also good for Jon Victor, that in these sort of positions, being short on time doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, 50 minutes is plenty of time for such a...
Yeah, and he did play rook
such
d7,
an easy position, really.
e7, sorry.
Such an easy position.
King c8 now, king f2 is better.
David Navarro is playing very quickly now. He already played g6.
Okay.
But sometimes that means that your position is so bad that you just want to get things over with. Jon takes on e6. If you take on h5, we take on h6.
Yeah.
He takes on h5. Yeah, it's true. So rook takes h6.
And
probably. And in rook endings, the rule of thumb, you should get active. So Black must try something here. Try to get his rook to d2, attack something on the queen side.
Why not just rook g5?
Rook g5 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to bring the kings.
Yeah, it's also, yeah, maybe you don't have to give up the 8th pawn and give a pass pawn. Yeah, maybe just to hold on like this. So it's 3 against 2. If these pawns were swapped, then actually it should be rather drawish with the 3 against 2 on the queen side. So Jon has to try to use.
I have a feeling this should be a draw.
Yeah. But
it's going to be a long fight.
It's going to be a long fight, but I think at this point we can also almost guarantee that Jon Møter with the white pieces is not going to lose, and that's already quite a decent accomplishment against such a strong player. So let's look at some...
We have a very nice spectator there in front of the board, little boy in a bow tie.
He's played rook g5, but
he's very interested.
We're going to move on to another game. Yeah, that's Christopher. He just became his school's champion recently. A young, enthusiastic boy. So we go back to Asserman.
Yeah.
I like seeing him suffer.
Get an update on birthday boy. That's board. Getting tired, I can't even find the board we're on.
So what happened after knight takes f5?
7, yeah.
He played queen b6. Okay. Counterattack in the station. Was to play knight e4 check, hitting the queen. So king g2. Is there any way to take? Yeah, now fear is thinking, he's made the move. He's made a move.
There he goes again.
I stood up from the board. He doesn't like sitting at the board. He's thinking about the party tonight. Yeah, of course he made the move king g2. I thought there were other moves in. So it's black to move, so I was a little bit ahead of myself there. So e5 is hanging. We have to do something about it. Most likely it takes on e2. If we take on f5, it looks like too much. Even though you get 2 pieces for the rook, you're going to lose the bishop on c6. Yeah, it just looks like too much. So what do we do? Do we take on e2? Well, that's the only other option really. And then I guess rook e2.
What is black so unhappy about here?
He probably missed, if we go back, he started shaking his head after this move, so probably just missed it. And it's easy to miss because you're kind of opening up 2 lines. You're opening up for the queen to come to g5 check, and you're opening up, you know, the g pawn once it has to capture on f5. So it's a tricky tactic. And tricky tactic. So me and my friends, we usually don't miss tricky tactics. So rook takes e2, yeah. Looks like the most likely move at this point. But then what's going on?
That is a good question.
It's tricky because now the queen doesn't stand too well on b6.
Yeah,
if you move the bishop.
First of all, white is just more active here.
Yeah. Okay, maybe we wouldn't do that.
Also, let's say if you didn't play bishop d7, does queen h6 ever work?
Yeah, I'm thinking, okay, bishop d7 is a better move, but just to demonstrate, if you go to e8, then queen h6 is working because we have this lateral pin here.
And also another point of mine, if you go
so
back...
So if you take, just quick lines here, and queen f6, then knight e7. Again with mate.
Yeah, very nice. And
but
my point was just here, if you play any, if it was white to play, let's play a4 for black.
No,
any random move.
Also.
Yeah. You take, might not work, but bishop takes f5.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm just not sure how
completely working.
black prevents mate here.
It's just mate.
Yeah.
Bishop takes h7. It's coming. I mean, again, it's a well-known mechanism.
Yeah.
Did I do that before, like this? Okay, we can also take with the queen and just give mate, but this is well known. But
loads of mates.
Yeah, like you said, we can also just take with the queen and give mate here.
And we had a move black played. I'm not sure what he played.
He took an e2 and rook takes e2.
And there we have Fier's girlfriend who was with us this morning. She just walked out of the screen now.
I actually thought Fier wasn't at the board as usually, but he's leaning back, well comfortable. Should we go back to Steingrímsson?
Can we just see what? Oh no. Okay, sorry. Yep. Let's go back to.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's update. Steingrímsson. That's how you pronounce it. Can you no? I'm kidding. It's Héðinn Steingrímsson.
So he apparently has developed.
Knight
is going.
F2, yeah. That's where we left it. And I thought white was quite solid. This knight on F2 reminds me of knight on F2 often in the Leningrad with colors reversed by Henrik. Maybe we should look at Henrik a little bit after this. Bishop d7 and b3. And I want to give, for a very specific reason, I want to look at Henrik's game. Because I think he's been playing f4 in this tournament. He played it in the first round, f4 in the first move. And we'll discuss that when we come to the game. d3, attacking the rook. However, can't we simply play rook b1? Followed by bishop b2. I don't see anything hanging. This looks like full control still for white, even though the king is here. Unless there's something crazy for black like this. Knight takes b3, rook c2. But then we can just take on d3. Well, then b2 hangs. So maybe something like this, rook c8. So rook b1, maybe rook c8. At least has an idea to do something. Preventing bishop b2. But anyway, rook b1 here looks forced.
Yeah, that is true.
Unless we play e5, but then we open things up, which we don't want to do, so we play here.
Very double-edged game here.
Yeah, very double-edged. Rook c8 looks quite interesting, activating the last piece, as Kasparov always did.
Heading is down to just 18 minutes.
Against a full hour.
Yeah. So we will come back to this. If you want to, we can go to Henrik first.
Yeah, but then should we first go to Hauke, who's possibly winning?
So we will go to Lars Oscar Hauge, who we had a tweet about earlier with Tarjei Swenson telling us that Lars Oscar predicted he would get his last Iron Norm at Reykjavik.
He promised us to get the norm, so he'd better. Otherwise, we'll get him in here to apologize. So we left it here, rook e2, protecting the knight, bishop d7.
You know, if he does win, we can maybe try and get him on the show. We haven't had many young players.
Yeah, you're right.
Us,
why not?
So
why not?
Let's first see how he's doing. Okay,
now c3, queen h4. But this does allow queen f7, the active queen. And now your idea bishop b6 from another position, which looks quite strong, because once you get rid of this light squared bishop, then there only remain weaknesses around the king.
I'm struggling to find any move for black here.
Yeah. King in the center.
Yeah. You can't really play bishop e8 because b7 is hanging.
Yeah. Like here, it just takes.
Yeah.
And the other rook doesn't even have a move.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
If
bishop c8 looks, it's too much because we just take and then however you take, there's checkmate. And 2.
Oh, if you take with the king, there is still a bishop d8.
There's bishop d8 though, yeah, that's correct. So king takes is forced. Now at least we have this, bishop d8.
Take, yeah.
And bishop d8.
Maybe knight c4?
Yeah, looks threatening. Let's see for queen here, queen e6, maybe no.
Surely there must be something.
Should be something, yeah, it's just screaming that there should be something. And white is only down a pawn. I mean, it looks good for white. I mean, in any case, he could switch to positional play and just grab a pawn on g7 or f5, something like this, and should be doing quite well. But okay, bishop c8 is not something that white should be worried about. Yeah, another idea pointed out by Peter is just to take on f5 here. Now we're threatening rook e8. Yeah. Excellent move. And if you take, there's just rook e8 mate. Yeah. So this means that...
do we have any more moves in this game?
Maybe take, but that just looks horrible with threatening mate. What do you do? King c8 maybe?
King c8?
It's the only move. So can we...
But after king c8, can you show that?
I was actually thinking in this position maybe queen takes b7 first.
Okay.
But yeah, after king c8 now we transpose to the other position, rook e8, bishop d8. But we can also take on d6.
I was wondering if I could take on f6.
No, because I take on queen d8.
Queen d8. Oh yeah, sorry. So you were thinking about queen b7 here?
Yes. And here, I would try to castle long, king set. See if my opponent says something. If he says something, I have to resign, but...
So black probably has to play rook c8?
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure that queen takes b7 is best, maybe.
Might be.
Okay, this just looks great for white. I mean, this might not be the best, but either way, it's very good. Let's have a quick look at Henrik's game and then go on a break.
Just...
Okay, he played bishop c8 and on knight f3. Maybe he missed bishop takes f5, possibly.
I'd be very surprised. Maybe. Maybe after bishop f5 he could play bishop e5.
Ah, Schwischen Zug, threatening mate. But then there's knight f3 maybe.
Yeah, maybe just missed it.
Maybe missed it.
I'm sure either way he must still be winning after knight f3.
Knight f3, and maybe he can
always take on f5.
Take on f5 next move. Yeah, it's maybe even better because if queen g4, then we're taking threatening mate and the queen. So yeah, quick look at Henrik. Yep. Doesn't he have the white pieces? Yep, here he is against the Kazakhstani
young girl.
Yeah. And Henrik indeed opened up with pawn to f4. And for a long time he used to be one of the world's leading experts in the Leningrad with black, which is d4, f5. And he used to play f4 a lot with the white pieces. And he actually recently finished a book on 1f4, which he calls the polar bear system. We call him sometimes the polar bear in Iceland. And he called that because most of the work he did on the book was while he was stationed in Greenland, which has a lot of polar bears. So he called it the polar bear system. So I'm trying to imitate his Danish accent, but not doing a good job. Okay, so f4. I was expecting him to play this, you know. He played it in the first round. So a little bit of shout out for Henrik, who published what I truly believe is a great book. He says he's been working on it for 15 years, so it's an interesting system. He actually taught me a lot about this opening when he moved to Iceland many years ago, and I played it many times and had a good score with it. So basically, this is the Leningrad structure with colors reversed, and he likes to play knight a3 here, rook e8, and there are plenty of interesting ideas that you can use. Because we're up a tempo really on a black opening, so there are some subtleties that you can use with colors reversed. Here against rook e8, he likes to play knight h4.
Just saying, we have someone called Italian Machine going crazy on the chat saying we missed something after bishop f5. There was apparently bishop takes d5 check. So
Bishop takes.
d5. But we will come back
Yeah,
to
we'll come back later.
after the
Yeah.
break. Okay.
Should we go back to Hage? Okay.
Okay.
He's winning. Okay. So actually, yeah, I just wanted to give Henrik a shout out on his book.
Yeah.
Maybe come back to this one later if you go back to the current position. It looks like a typical Henrik game, space advantage, and he's really good in endgame. So
Yeah. So
we'll see that one later.
Helga won already, apparently.
Yeah. So we left it off. And
Can we maybe try and get Lars into the studio with us for after the break?
so let's see. We thought, okay, bishop c8. What is the Italian machine saying? If bishop takes f5, bishop takes d5. I don't understand that.
No.
It's not legal, so he's messing with us.
Trying to confuse us.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Knight f3, queen a4, and yeah, okay. Maybe knight f3 was just an excellent move, because
Yeah.
where do you go with the queen?
Yeah.
He's just going to wait for the queen to go to a light
So
square,
right, yeah.
and
That's true.
then we move the bishop, and we're threatening mate.
Yeah. So very nice game. So I suggest we go on a break right now.
Yeah,
I
gonna go
try
on-
to get Lars Oskar to join us and maybe
Okay.
show us his game.
Yep, so let's go on a
see you
short break.
soon. Stay tuned.
Welcome to chess.com. Chess.com is social. Now you can play chess with your friends whenever you want, whether that's middle of the day or middle of the night. You can get instantly matched up with one of over 5 million other members from around the world. You play live games in real time, turn-based games at your convenience, or tournaments with anyone at any time. Chess.com is mobile. You can play online from your computer, or you can play on the go from your tablet or your smartphone. No matter where you go, whether you're at work, grabbing a bite to eat, or just enjoying some time at the park, your games are there with you, and keeping multiple chess games going has never been easier. Chess.com is for learning. Don't just play chess, get better. The best chess training resources have never been more accessible. Learn essential chess strategy quickly and easily with the extremely popular Tactics Trainer tool. Improve your game in ways you didn't know were possible with training videos by chess masters. And regardless of where you're at now, take your game to the next level with multiple simple-to-use training tools. Chess.com is for everyone. Over 250 million chess games have been played on Chess.com. And it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or a grandmaster. Chess.com is the place to play and learn chess. So create your free account now and see what Chess.com is for you.
welcome back to third round of Reykjavik Open. I'm joined by Lars Oskar Hauge, who has just won a very nice game against Alan Stig Rasmussen from Denmark. So we have been looking at this game quite a lot, we have been discussing it. So you're 16 years old, you're from Norway, and you have scored 2 IM norms already, is that right?
Yeah, I have scored 2.
And you are trying to score your 3rd one here?
Yeah, I thought I could go for that in this tournament.
Yeah. We had a tweet earlier on the screen for our viewers about from Tarjei Svensson, who told us that you promised him, or you said you would score your last norm here. So you had a good start. You're
yeah,
3 out of 3 or 2?
Yeah, 3 out of 3.
Okay. So is it? How many times have you played in Reykjavik before?
It's the 2nd time. I played last year as well.
And how did you do last year?
I think I did like decent. 5.5 out of 10 and 16 plus in Elo, I think.
How do you like it here?
Yeah, I really like it here. It's perhaps a bit cold, but it's cold in Norway as well. So.
You're here with a group of friends from NTG, is that correct?
Yeah, or the people I'm staying with is a bit younger, so they haven't started there yet.
But do you yourself attend NTG?
No, I started on a different school.
Okay. Okay, so maybe can you show us, for your people out there, that was the tweet from Tarjei earlier telling us that 16-year-old Lars Oskar has 2 IM norms already, and that after winning the Nordic Under 16 championship last month, he asked Lars Oskar when his 3rd IM norm would come, and he replied in the next event, which is Reykjavik Open. So do you want to maybe show us the most interesting, like the key moments from your game?
Yeah, I can do that. So
yeah, you can just use it.
Yeah, I prepared on the accepted Queen's Gambit with d5, but c4 takes, but he didn't play it, and he played Dutch instead.
Does he play that sometimes, or came as a surprise?
I hadn't seen any Dutch games by him, so here I was out of book because I normally don't play d4. But I remember seeing a video on chess.com a couple of years ago, so I decided to go for that with bishop g5.
Yeah, I think just, you have to, one more, that's fine.
e6, knight bd2. And here I thought he would play either d5 or bishop e7.
Okay.
I'm not really that familiar with the d5 positions because I don't really know the plan here, but I was planning just to play around on the e5 square, perhaps start with e3. But he played h6, which
was a surprise.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it before, and I don't really think it's that great either, because after bishop e7, I would have taken on f6 anyway. So I played e4, d6, and here I decided that I would try to exploit the fact that I have better development. So I took in f5 and played bishop c4. Here it took on d4, which I hadn't really seen, or I just thought I could take and he would lose his castle, which is what happened as well. So
we had some people in the chat rooting for you, and they were saying that you were very brave attacking like this, and they were cheering for you.
Yeah, yeah, that's.
Yeah, we quite liked your position.
I think I'm better here, but I didn't really know how to proceed in this position. I found the rook e2 idea, which I think is correct. Trying to double on the e file. But afterwards here, I didn't really find a clear plan. So I decided to start with c3 because when he goes to this side, his queen doesn't have that many squares, which on like g5, f4, and g4. So I thought I would get knight to 3 with tempo, and I had some ideas of trapping it.
Do you think in this position you're already close to winning?
Yeah, I think the computer would find a win for white here, but I didn't really see anything if he just doesn't do anything himself, because I thought of like bishop d5 to make him play c6 as happened in the game, but he would just answer with rook b8.
Yeah.
So a move for him here, I didn't really see anything, but if he plays rook b8, which looks sort of stupid, I didn't see anything because now his plan is to play c6.
So if you play the same thing, if you play bishop e6?
Bishop e6, the point is that after bishop e8, my queen is trapped and I can't take on b7. So here I'm not threatening bishop e6 because...
because the queen is...
Yeah, because trapped. I don't have the b7 square. So when he played c6, it was just winning after bishop e6.
So c6, the decisive mistake, you think?
But I don't really think he played precise, or that's precise earlier with h6 either.
Do you think he might have underestimated you?
I don't know, maybe. I played him in the Olympiad as well.
In Tromsø?
Yeah, where he won. Perhaps I didn't play that well in that game, so...
Is he one of the strongest players you've beaten, or...?
I think like the fourth or the third strongest, maybe.
Okay. Okay, and then the finish was quite nice. We thought...
Yeah, bishop
here,
c8.
after bishop c8, we thought you might take immediately, but then we thought knight f3 is probably even stronger.
Yeah, like after bishop e5, I can play knight f3 as well.
That's what we thought. But knight f3 immediately just seems
yeah, I
to
think
win
it's
on
a
the
bit
spot.
more precise. Yeah.
So yeah, very nice game.
Yeah, thanks.
You're quite happy. 3 out of 3. Perfect start.
Yeah, it's the perfect start.
Yeah, you're probably gonna get someone very strong tomorrow.
Yeah, and then I'm black as well.
Yeah. How do you prepare for your games here?
I just look at the opponent's games, and not that much. I try to sleep as much as possible and rest before the games.
Okay, great. So best of luck for the rest of your games, and thank you very much for joining us here.
Yeah, thanks.
And we'll be right back. See you soon. I'm joined again.
Nobody told me. Oh, okay. Hi.
I'm wondering what Ingvar has been up to while he was on his break, but yeah, we just had Lars Oskar Hauger here with us, just showed us the key moments of his game, which was really insightful, and a very nice young man, and I wish him all the best on his quest to get his final Iron Known.
Well, on his way after 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a quick stroll around the hall just to see if there was something interesting going on.
We had a decisive result in the birthday boy game. Birthday boy, who's just in the room, but who is now leaving to have a birthday party. So maybe have him back another day.
We'll let him celebrate.
Should we maybe see how his game concluded?
Yeah, let's see how it concluded. That's actually interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, only the third decisive game so far. So we saw this with G takes F5. And yeah, Queen G5 as predicted, and D takes C6. Aha, tactics.
More tactics.
Tactics time, and this can't be captured because then we take on D8, the hanging rook, so protecting the rook, and now a very strong bishop. So even though white...
It's incredible the way he has turned this around after blundering the B2 pawn.
Obviously blundering.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a nice trick with knight F5. So here he's going to win the F5 pawn, and he's going to have a better minor piece, a really strong bishop on D5. Even though this is on an outpost, it's not really as influential as this bishop, which is controlling both sides of the board. Knight D7, Queen takes F4, and now he's up the pawn.
Yeah.
And of course he had to...
very strong.
The pawn was attacked, he played F4, and after this we of course have this threat, because the king must go to E7 and this would hang, so he can't save the pawn, so takes on F4, Queen D2, Knight B6, which, okay, it looks like he must have just realized his mistake and resigned. This is actually a typical mistake, because, yeah, it's often a mental block that the piece can move back in the other direction, Queen D2, Knight B6, and then we go back from where we came from, the diagonal, check, and we're going to pick up this knight.
Yeah.
So it looks like he realized he blundered the knight. He was short on time, so he had about a minute, and blundered the piece and resigned. So a nice win by Alexander Fear. Also looks like Pavel Elyanov won.
So let's have a look at that.
Yeah.
That's the game where White, where he went H4.
Yeah, we left it after the obvious looking H4, which he can't take. I mean, that's fairly obvious, and we went over it before. Now B5, Queen C7, Queen to D3, protecting this pawn here on D4, which was hanging. Now black takes, but again G5.
Yeah.
Still, the difference now is we can put the bishop on G7 and at least try to defend. But Rook F8, Rook E to H1. The H file is still dangerous, and that's a really cool theme when you have such a setup, that if you can get your queen to F6 even.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's say black went on a rampage. Let's say it's a really bad move. Oh, it's a way to move actually. No, it's bad to move. Let's do this. Sorry. Let's say we move the knight. Okay, something really bad. And if you can get the queen to F6, I think it's just game, set, match. You know, something like this. Stupid.
Yeah.
But after queen F6, you can't prevent the mate on.
Okay.
Even if you give the queen, it's going to be mate on the H file. So even though you have the bishop, the attack is really dangerous. And black sacrificed a piece here on C5. Queen takes C5. Queen takes F2. So sacked the piece, but got what? 4 pawns right now. But white has tripled now on the H file. King F8. And now we can play Rook F1.
Yeah.
And tactics time, what's going on? Knight takes D5. Knight on D5, like in Bispis game this morning. Then we had a queen on D7. To Elyanov take the queen on D7. That goes queen. But the queen on D7 is really strong, because now we're going to take on F7, and there's no way to actually prevent that.
Yeah.
So next move is Rook takes F7. So Nikita Petrov resigned.
Or the queen takes.
Yeah, of course. I was thinking something like this, then we take with the Rook. Yeah, Elyanov, after a good start, he seems to play well in Reykjavik.
So let's go to board 2, catch up with Jon Victor Gunnarsson and David Navarra.
Yeah, I think it's still the pawn up Rook endgame, where Jon Victor is trying to win.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
But now he can take the H pawn.
let's see. Yeah. So something happened. We had the rook on g5. If we go back, rook g5. We had these moves. White tries to activate his king.
Yeah.
And here he goes with the rook to e1. He could take on h5 here, but he elects to give a check here and then go back.
King b6.
Yeah, and now he can take on h5, and probably he should.
So after rook takes h5.
That's probably rook c1.
Play, or rook a1 maybe. Or rook c1.
Yeah, it depends on if you want the rook to, maybe to go to, maybe it's better to have the rook inactive here,
yeah.
Before we attack the c-pawn. So nice. This and Zook?
Well, white doesn't have to defend the pawn.
No, and and maybe it's better even to have it here, to put it behind the pawn as
so
we
maybe
want. So
rook
maybe
a1 is not so good.
Maybe rook c1. So okay, he will get one pawn back, but I mean this pawn looks quite dangerous,
this
right?
looks better than what we had before.
Yeah. So same situation.
The black king is very far away from the g file.
Yeah.
I quite like John Victor's chances here.
I like his chances a lot as well. Yeah. But we'll see.
You know him well. How good an endgame player is John Victor?
Pretty good, but I wouldn't say anything spectacular. I mean, okay, probably just as good as his rating, but I think, well, he's a pretty even player in pretty much all facets of the game. But like I said earlier, I think he's good when he has the initiative.
Yeah.
And he kind of proved it there. I mean, with the queen f2 maneuver and how he won the pawn.
And we are told that Daniel Bisbee, who joined us on the show this morning, is on fire.
Go Bisbee!
So let's go to Daniel Bisbee's game. Board 19, he's facing Italian Grandmaster Axel Rombaldoni. And that is the current position. We didn't have a look at the opening.
Oh, we didn't see anything. It was a King's Indian, Fianchetto, with, well, an aggressive-looking g4 move by white. The Italians tend to be aggressive, except for Michel Godena, who's really solid. B takes e5. Okay.
You know, I told you earlier today that Daniel really played a brilliant game this morning. When I took my lunch break, I had a look at the game with the computer, and he played almost only first line, so great game by Daniel.
Bishop f4. Now he got his rook active. Queen a5. h3 is hanging.
Someone's asking about Stoppa's games. We'll go to that
we'll
next.
Go to that next.
Stay tuned for that.
So he took an h3. So technically he's giving up the piece on a6. But he's going to win it back. If queen takes a6, queen g4 check. Yeah. And on bishop g3 we have h4, which would open up the white king position. So white didn't go for that, he went f3 instead.
And white is already down to 10 minutes only on the clock.
And Bisbee with 28. Yeah. Is there anything concrete here? Probably not.
But black is, if I'm not miscounting, a pawn up, but yeah.
Yeah, he's a pawn up already, the pawn on h3, yeah, that's true. And okay, he can take on d4, but I wouldn't be...
What about that hanging knight on a6?
Yeah, he has to take over that first, that's right, would be knight b4. I was slightly worried about knight d2. Well, things get complicated. After knight b4, maybe knight d2, but then we can take on d4. Which should be good for black. So, okay, pawn up. It's not apparent where white's play is coming from, so actually looking quite good for Bisbee.
Yeah.
So we're going to switch over to Stoppa and Source.
Yeah.
And did we look at this one before? Yes, we had. The Nimso Indian. Well, yeah, we looked at it as a g3. We didn't really believe in black, so let's see what happened. Rook g6. Okay, he went bishop e2.
It's strange that after playing g3...
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't go bishop e2 immediately and castle.
Yeah.
So g3 doesn't really seem necessary, so I'm actually quite surprised. But okay, bishop d7, queen e3, attacking this knight. But he defends it indirectly here with f5. White took on f5. Bishop takes f5 and d6. Interesting move. Possibly winning material if queen takes. Yeah, we can just play queen f3. Well, ultimately we'll take first here and then play queen f3. With a double attack on the bishop, and the rook.
Yeah.
And I think black's best is probably then e4, and then queen takes f5. So we have two pieces for the rook, but black has some pawns, but they look really weak.
Again, like, it's a matter, we've had this a couple of times today, the king's position is a big problem.
Still stuck here, no pawns. We've seen it so many times in the tournament. It's almost becoming the theme of the tournament.
Yeah. But the problem is, if we go back to move 24 after d6, if you take with the rook, e5 is hanging.
Yeah, so d6 may be a nice line opening move. And now you have to take care of this guy, and now we got a bunch of moves available, like knight e4. And what to do, really. And we got multiple ways to win. One of them just to take and win a piece. So d6, is this game over?
Do we have any moves?
Because if we move the queen, then this guy is hanging.
Yeah. So we're struggling to find a move here.
Rook takes d6, we just refuted with queen takes e5, winning immediately a piece. So I guess the only chance is to go for this line with rook takes b6 and queen f3 and play e4. But, I mean, this is a threat. This is dropping off immediately.
In some lines, the bishop can also go to g4, h5, possibly.
Yeah.
So not a nice position for black.
No, looks
horrible.
Probably losing.
So we're gonna come back to this. We're now gonna move on to Steil-Antoni.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Erik Hansen was held to a draw by international master Andreas Hagen. We didn't have a look at that. I met Erik in the hall, and even he was complaining. Well, not complaining, just the double rounds. They are, it can be tough, especially if you have a long game in the morning round. And he didn't have the energy for this game. Steingrimsson, right? Yeah. Whoa. Okay, let's go back. We had this position. d3, we thought rook b1, but of course there's another move, bishop a3. Then he played probably a better move because rook b1 seemed to allow some interesting play for black. He played rook a8 nonetheless, which again has ideas of knight takes b3. For instance, b4, which isn't a good move, but now we have the c3 square. If you take, there's mate in 1. But,
and if you go back?
But we can take on a1, probably,
Exactly.
So that's probably a threat, so that's why he played rook ac1. And a5. Again, we see this move, securing this knight, so it also in Esserman's game.
Yeah.
Rook h to e1, b6. Queen to e3, bishop f5 with pressure on e4, and now bishop takes c5. Seems to me that white is still keeping control, and after black takes on c5, I don't really see a choice.
You probably have, what are you going to take with the rook?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure actually.
What is clear is that you can't take with the d pawn.
Yeah, it's
you can't give white all these passed pawns.
too bad. Yeah. And now I think we can just take on d3.
Yeah.
It's a question which piece we take with.
I'd quite like to unpin myself. The problem is if we do that, the f pawn.
Yeah.
Okay,
probably
then maybe
have to-
take with the knight.
Yeah. We can also
let's
take with the
take
knight and protect the b2 square. That's probably best. Take with the knight.
Yeah. And it seems like white has everything under control here. Plus, he's a pawn up. So yeah, I'd like white.
I like white because he seems to have control and he can play a move like rook c4, just protecting everything, the fourth rank, the e-pawn. And then slowly but surely improve. Like queen g3, bishop f3, double on the g-file, and doesn't seem to be much going on for black.
Yeah.
So current position is, okay, he actually flicked in the check on b2. Which is good because it forces him to take with the king on d3. I guess now, well, yeah, rook takes c5 probably, because you don't want white to. If you take with a pawn, then okay, this seems to have things well under control, and therefore I kind of like exchanging this rook. But still here, maybe white can even force the issue with queen d2.
Yeah.
Because then this is hanging if we don't exchange the queens. Black can't allow that. So yeah, maybe even on d3 this king is quite fine. Did he make a move? Yeah, he made the move, king takes d3. And
Black is thinking.
Björn Alander is thinking about this move now.
We're getting some football updates.
Bayern München won.
No, they scored. They
Yes?
didn't win. They just started 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, but they scored 1-0.
You said they won?
No, I said Bayern won.
Ah.
The other guy's 0.
Getting tired over here. So Bayern Munich scored. Müller, 4th minute. Oh.
Red card by Donetsk. The first game was a draw, 0-0.
Get the football scores up.
Mm.
Any of you guys leaving us right now for football? No. I wonder.
No. Sure. Okay, yeah, but anyway, I know Masse, he's a big Bayern Munich fan. The funny thing is he's from France, but at the World Cup he was rooting for Germany.
Germany,
yeah.
He does have some German roots.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
What about football in Iceland?
What about football in Iceland? We are trying to qualify for the European Championships. We will play against the Netherlands in September. I will be there in Amsterdam. Maybe I will meet some friends there, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we will still be friends then. Not after the game though.
What about this team who celebrated like...
Oh yeah, he's asking about the team which had all the celebrations. It's called Stjarnan, which means, well, literally almost means the star. It was like, it's a few years ago now. We had this, tradition of celebrating the goals with a new style every time. Meanwhile, let's get back to the chess. Yes?
Maybe let's get back to our top board.
Yeah.
We haven't been...
yeah, this seems well under control by
White.
Isn't he just forcing the exchange now of queens? It seems to me.
Yeah, because he's
like,
threatening to
just
take.
queen d4, king here. And the queen is still attacked, and the bishop. So, looks good for Heden. I think he's going to win.
Yeah. So let's go back to Shahriar Mamedjarov playing against Simon Becker-Jensen.
I haven't looked at this one in a while. Simon is still holding on.
Yeah.
We had some business here on e4 and g3. This is where we left the position last time. And Simon decided to play d5. Allowing Mamedjarov to get some space advantage on the queen side, but on the other hand, black is pretty solid still.
Yeah.
He gets some exchanges, and now a6 by white, rook d8, bishop h3, and let's try and get to the position that we have now. Queen c8, queen d3. Okay, eventually they exchange the bishops, and okay, white has a pretty safe space advantage, but it's just a matter of
What if
finding a way to break through now.
what if white now plays queen e3, king f7? Okay.
Fairly logical, yeah. King f7. Yeah, looks. Again, white is never going to lose, but is he going to win? Most likely, but
He'll probably play h5 at,
yeah, it's still going to take some time.
but
And the tricky thing, you know, when you have these heavy pieces.
you see Simon there with the striped shirt looking at his own position from afar.
It's funny, next to him is Helgi Ólafsson. They played last year
Yeah.
in this tournament as well.
I think Simon looks really relaxed. Doesn't look too worried.
Not too worried, you're right.
I think it's if white wants to win, he needs to find a way here.
It's not so easy. I mean,
but yeah,
yeah.
not easy.
Okay, e6 is a weakness, but it's easily defended, so we kind of need another weakness to make some progress.
Yeah. Because white also,
And anytime we move this rook,
Actually, I think
the d4 pawn is
the
weak.
move I suggested, rook e3, queen e3, is actually not a good move, because after queen a4 at some point, like if you go, yeah, queen e3,
King e3.
king f7, and if I now play a random move like even h5, maybe rook a4, and I can't
You just
defend,
want to win the a6 pawn.
but I can go to d3.
Yeah, I can go queen b3. Yeah. But then d4 hangs. It's tricky.
No, but I can go d3, queen d3, defending both
Yeah.
pawns. Okay, so we.
Yeah, but there's no progress still. So okay, we'll come back to this one. It's going to take a while if he can win.
Yeah.
So let's go to.
We'll go to Gawain
Wayne.
Jones, board 4.
He had the black pieces
Yeah,
and
he's down there.
yeah,
Yep.
and a King's Indian.
Okay.
And we haven't seen this one for a while. We had, yeah, something like this. And what happened was white gave up this e4 pawn. And got it back, but okay, there's problems on the d2 square. f4, bishop e6, and on knight d2, which wins an exchange because there's no way to save this guy. b5, knight e5.
Okay. What is going on here?
Yeah, it looks rather, the pieces are sort of all over the board. It's hard to figure out really what's
These guys, especially in
going
double
on?
rounds, they could exchange some more pieces,
Yeah.
make our job a bit easier.
exactly.
Okay, so
I mean,
white can't prevent losing an exchange.
No. And it's hard to see much compensation really for the exchange, to be honest, but yeah, I think I like black here.
Yeah.
Give me a bottle of red wine, 2 glasses.
Time situation, going down to 7 minutes.
Yeah,
Might
Jones
be
7 minutes,
slight,
and
it's true,
yeah.
but
I don't really see any big complications here.
yeah.
For
But there's a knight e7 actually.
ah, yeah, we completely missed that.
Yeah.
So you could actually play
Simple
knight e7 here, yeah. Getting tired again? No.
So king has to move.
Yes, according to the rules of chess, he has to move the king. And now he can take on c8.
So maybe not so easy after
Oh,
all.
maybe, yeah. I don't know if rook takes c8 does anything. Maybe just protect the pawn on a6.
Yeah. Starting to think things are not so clear.
Yeah, maybe it's
At all.
just not clear at all.
Because also the white, we actually now also have a bishop h5 check. I don't know if that does anything at all.
Yeah, maybe king f7 is possibly not the best move.
But I would
Yeah,
say,
because let's say something like this. rook e2, and now we can actually take on. Well, it's more complicated. I thought we were trapping the knight, but now there's knight takes c4.
But we had a move, I think.
Okay, yeah, knight e7, of course.
Yeah.
We didn't miss it. We were just waiting for somebody in the chat to point it out.
Yeah, look at the.
Just kidding. Yeah, very meticulous about his writing.
Yeah.
Quain has finished his banana. He should have energy for the last part of the game, and he might need it.
I think the most important part is just coming now. Like time travel is going to start fairly shortly.
Yeah.
Gawain still needs to play 16 moves. Only has 6 minutes, so
Okay.
it's not dramatic yet. But
also another result. It's on your screen. Einar Hjalti Jensson holds Grandmaster Sabino Brunello to a draw. Good result for him.
and Gawain played King G7.
I actually think.
White loses about 30 seconds per move just writing down his
Yeah,
move.
I think his sight might be poor actually.
Okay.
So that's why he might be really nearsighted or
Yeah.
have some
You know,
impairment with his
some
sight.
people are just very meticulous. They write
Yeah.
down the time they spent on a move, and so. But yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen him with another guy, and yeah, he's always walking close to him. So maybe he's
Yeah.
close to being blind actually.
Okay.
So
So shall we come back to that later? And
King G7 makes more sense. Yeah.
should we have an update on Jan Victor Gunnarsson, the Wood campaign against David Navarro?
The potential upset of the round has the most people watching. We have some simplification here. We saw this position here. Yeah. He didn't take on h5. He played b4, which allowed c4. Now he took on h5. Rook c1, and now he starts running with the pawn. King f4, rook c2. And is he figuring that he has time to block the c pawn? So what happens here? I take this pawn. I don't have time to grab the b pawn. Rook b2, g6. No, I can't.
Okay,
I
I
can't
just
do
wanted
that.
a rook g2 probably.
Yeah, but then I just shelter the pawn. The rook is standing quite nicely here.
Yeah.
This might be a nice idea. The rook is here, you know, blocking the king.
Yep.
It's also taking care of this pawn. And this actually looks... Isn't this just winning? We just push the g pawn. Can we do
Okay,
something
what
about
if
it?
we try to take the b pawn?
Okay,
Surely.
t5, rook b2, just to check it out. Rook takes, aren't we too late? Yep, c3 and just king. Well, okay, we get the rook. Maybe it's not so clear. Maybe it's not so clear.
Can we
I
do
could
something
also,
about-
after
could we-
this, I could play rook g5, of course.
Yeah.
But then there's jack, rook c4. Hang on a minute.
Things are getting tricky.
Hang on a
here.
minute.
We might be losing.
But yeah, they queen with check, so we can't. That's not a good move. Wow. So rook here, and then he goes rook here.
And now White is probably losing.
Yeah. Tricky. He goes rook b2.
We have messed
Rook
this one up a
b2. He
bit.
plays. Something he missed. He missed something.
And some people are pointing out that David Navarro still. Which move are we on? Actually?
46.
So he did get his edit.
Whoa, he got 133.
Yeah, but he did get
of
his
course he got
30 minutes already.
half an hour.
Yeah. So what's the Q&A position? Let's
rook
receive some
b2,
moves.
rook b2.
Rook b2.
Is Fiona becoming a little bit uneasy here? Having
Okay,
missed
so
something?
What if we play g6?
Yes, rook takes,
And rook c8.
rook c8, rook c8, yes, yes. Okay, c3,
Yeah.
king
okay.
somewhere. Should we stay close to the pawn? I don't know. There's like rook c4. No, but we win this. We take, and king here.
Yeah.
We should be in time. Is there any ready like? No, can't be. Yeah, that's also an idea.
Yeah.
Looks like it should be enough. So rook b2, that's not rook b2, this is rook b2, let's promote it, main variation, rook b2. You want to play g6. And on rook takes b4, you want to play rook c8. If king b7, then maybe just g7. Although he does it 2 pawns.
I think it's not so easy to win with the queen against the rook.
No, it's not necessarily.
It's not even easy to win queen against rook.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember Morozevich once failed to win it. So.
I remember one game, Swidler Gelfand also, I think. So it's quite tricky.
And we have another upset, which was not on the live boards, but we are told that Henrik Carlsen, the father of Magnus, has beaten Dagor Ragnarsson today.
Right, at 23-47.
Yeah, so that is another major upset.
Yeah, but we should mention that Dagor, he's the recipient of the new 40 K factor rule. He gained almost 300 rating points from last list.
Okay.
So it remains to be seen how he will hold up over 2300. But okay, he got his FM title, and I think it's really close to at least 2300 strength. So it's definitely justified. I mean, he beat some IMs.
Is that Artur Yusupov in the background?
Yes, Yusupov in the background with the beard.
Took a bite.
Alyanov
was not playing himself this afternoon, so it's very nice of him to come by.
Feels relaxed. Yeah, he's also watching his, he has one guy here that he's training, his pupil, Nico from Switzerland. Okay, this is really interesting. G6, rook takes b4. I'm wondering if we missed something. Because to me, I mean, I know Jon Viktor quite well, and he seems a little bit, he was much more relaxed earlier. And to me, he seems a little bit not too sure about what's going on.
And Navarro also seemed more sad before. Okay, so should we come back to that a little bit later? And where do you want to go to?
I don't want to go anywhere.
Board 5? Board 1, we're going to go back to our top board.
Yep.
Sharia Mohamed Diarra. We left the position somewhere. I can't even remember.
H4, Queen F6. Yeah. Queen C3 here.
We left it here. Rook B5, King G2, King F7, Rook E3. Okay, so maybe now White wants to activate his rook over the F file. Rook F3.
Yeah, and he kicked the rook away from B4, so there's no pressure on D4 anymore.
Oh, and head White. Sorry. So Black has played King E8, getting out of the, not pin, but of the F file.
Getting out of the skewer on the F file. Okay, still work to be done, right?
Yeah. I guess White might still play Rook F3.
Yeah. Rook F3, maybe it's you can put it on F4, protect D4.
Question is, where does Black go with his queen? Do you want to go to D8, maybe?
D8, A5 to exchange, yeah, maybe.
But I want to
I'll play Queen E3,
bring my own queen over to here, maybe. And then from there, I'm threatening to both take and go here.
Yeah, so maybe.
Although Black can still play Queen E7. So.
Yeah. It depends. Should we play Queen D8 first? Or should we just put her on E7 immediately? It's tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Black is definitely defending.
Yeah. I think it's still difficult.
Yeah.
And it sounds like we're having a concert here in Harpa.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will come back to this a bit later. Maybe check in on Bragi on board 6.
Oh yeah, we haven't looked at him.
We haven't looked at Bragi in a while. If I can find him.
Complications.
Should we just stick with the current position?
Yeah, it was rather a quiet opening phase. Yeah, they had the English opening.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay, currently what's going on? White just played knight g5. Material is still equal.
Again, too many pieces.
Yeah. They're not making our job easy here. I think I mean, just glancing at the position, I sort of like, I was going to say I like black because of the d5 square, but white is challenging this square because he's threatening to take on f7 and then on d5. So I'm actually not sure what's going on here.
I quite like white, actually.
He also has some ideas for black, like knight c4 in some cases.
Should we?
Knight g5, maybe knight c4. Is that working? It's a bit tricky.
Can we go to now? Queen c2. I was thinking about queen d3, but after queen d3, can we not simply take on b2?
Yeah, of course.
And then the rook is hanging on e1.
But here I was worried about, yeah, maybe it's tricky because now we can take on d4. So, well, okay, but it's a complicated position because if you take with the queen, then knight takes d5 all of a sudden. So maybe here. But this just seems to win a pawn for black.
Yeah.
So knight c4 looks like a strong move at first glance. But does probably have some ideas like taking on d5 at some point. It looks a bit drastic, but yeah, of course we're missing like queen c2. Yeah. We can take on d5. Something like this. It's a very complicated position. It's hard to even figure out what's going on here.
Should we maybe go to board 5, Erwin Lamy? We haven't looked at his game in a while as well. Yeah. Another rook end game.
Unsurprisingly.
Okay, so equal pawns, but black has it past distant. A pawn.
Yeah. It's a typical Erwin Lamy game, I guess. Yeah. He's really good in these end games. Yeah, I mean, okay, it's a passed pawn, but
it might be that white's d pawn.
It's easily blocked, and white has the more active king. Black's king is cut off, and yeah, the d pawn can be dangerous as well.
Okay,
rook
so
a3.
rook a3. Can I just play e4?
Yeah, I would like to play e4 and king e5 quite quickly, and see what I can do with my active king. But if e4, then probably, well, if you don't want to let the king in, then f6, but that then, drops a pawn, yeah. And I think that should be good for white. Yeah. So what can he do really? Rook a3.
And someone is telling us on the chat that Shahrial is winning. So should we quickly go back to our top board, see if there's been any update there?
All of a sudden winning. Oh, he wants to. Okay. We had this, king e8, rook f3, unsurprisingly. He put the queen on g7. Queen e3, threatening the pawn on e6. Yeah. So king d7. Now queen e4, and we want to put the queen here on d6. So black plays e5. Queen g4 check.
And apparently he just won. Oh, he hasn't won, but he's very close to winning.
Yeah, where to put the king? If you put it on c7, there's queen f7. Yeah. I want to make a check on f7. And is there anything to be done? Not really.
Can we get the players on the screen, maybe?
Players, Mamedjarov. Mamedjarov.
Might be very close to... Just waiting to bring the
Very close to a handshake.
webcam up. Yeah, it's just, let's see if we have any moves. So,
A very relaxed Shak
so
Mamedjarov.
this is the current position. Judging from Shak's body language.
Yeah, he's waiting for resignation.
Probably wants to go watch football as well.
Probably Simon doesn't have a lot of time left.
Yeah.
It's his 40th move. Yeah.
And that's it. Handshake.
Yeah.
It was a good effort by Simon.
Yeah.
He held on for a while, but these guys are very good.
Yeah, these guys are very good. They don't care if they win in 20 moves or 50.
And it looks like, did you see that?
Did you see that Lennart's MacBook Pro?
Did you see Shachiak was just asking Simon if he wanted to go and analyze, which is another very nice touch, you know. Okay, so Shachiak Mamedjarov top seed moves to 3 out of 3. We're not yet at round 4.
Yeah.
Maybe go back
Are
to...
the results coming in?
So another Norwegian player, Arian Tari.
Yeah, we didn't look at all at his game against, well, it was only 17 moves. Let's have a quick look. Arian Tari, a talented young Norwegian against
Board 16.
international master Dagur Argrímsson. And we have a Sicilian, and Arian goes for a Marok Sibine type of setup, and Dagur tries to break with d5. So okay, slight lead in development for white, but nothing that suggests that there are 6 moves left. Yeah. Rook d1, knight b to d7, and now perhaps a tricky move, knight e6. If you take, then a lot of weaknesses and the bishop pair. But still, okay, he takes on h2, king takes, pawn takes f6, queen takes. Everything is still equal, but development is a bit tricky for black here. And after
very squeezed.
Bishop f4, he played knight h5. His idea is after bishop takes h5 to take this. But after bishop d6, all of a sudden, it's hard to meet all the threats. Is that the...
The knight is hanging on h5,
yeah.
the rook
And
is hanging.
if you play this,
and after rook f6.
just queen e7, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, is that game over? We take, rook e6. Or maybe...
maybe the knight is trapped now.
yeah, I was thinking the same thing. If you could play queen somewhere,
Yeah.
queen like
To
e4,
find a square though. Yeah,
queen e4 maybe,
Yeah.
hoping the knight is just trapped here.
What about g6? G6 and bishop e5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, you know, 100% clear though. I mean, there's like rook
Seems
h6.
quite early to resign.
Yeah.
How much do you think the football games tonight would influence the play? Well, obviously now this must have concluded a while ago.
Yeah.
But I think there are some
not
players,
so much.
not
I
too
mean,
many, but
not too
surely
many.
there must be some players in there who are now... Sorry? This one?
Oh, they played a lot more moves,
Okay,
so
so
it just froze.
apparently we're just missing some moves.
Yeah, it didn't look like
Yeah.
resignation time, so it's just a relay error. Yeah, I saw some actually when I was walking earlier during the break. I saw some games that weren't relaying properly, so yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to board 2. David Navarra against Jan Victor Gunnarsson.
Yeah. Where is it?
Down, down, down.
Yeah, we changed the order, so let's go like this. He's black, so let's do this, yeah. Aha. Let's go back, see what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, we have
G6, rook takes
Sarah
D4.
Carlson in the chat telling us that we should have Arya and Terry in the commentary room. Sometimes she says he seems like a nice young man. I can confirm that.
Yeah.
He beat me 5 years ago now, when he was only maybe 10 or 11, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's played here some years ago as well.
He analyzed with me later on, telling me where I'd gone wrong, so it was very nice being lectured by a little
talented.
kid. A very nice guy, and we will try to have him on some other day.
So it looks like, yeah, isn't this just, let's get the moves. King E4. Looks like
I think White can't really win anymore. Yeah. Because once White gets his king up the board.
Yeah, the pawn is too far advanced. He played B4. And if we go for the rook with our king, I mean the king is gonna shelter the pawn, and black just sacrifices his rook for the pawn. And the white king is too far away.
I think this is a shame, because I think Jan Victor definitely had some winning chances.
Yeah, I'm sure he had some chances,
in
but
his endgame.
Just didn't find them.
Yeah.
Now he's soon 1.5 hours behind on the clock.
A draw against Navarro is never going to be a better result, obviously.
But he's going to be upset because he missed some chances, I'm sure. So let's look at our resident English hero, Daniel Bisbee. We left this one after, well, around here. Knight b4, rook d1, we took on g2, queen f5, and here he's up a pawn. And what happens? He opens up the position, knight a5, takes on e3, gets another pawn, gets an active rook, and d3. Rook f2. Okay, he can also always take on a2 if he wants.
We might have some, both players are down to 5 minutes. They still have to play 10 moves, so we might get some excitement here. So what's going on? Black is still his pawn up?
Yeah, he's still a pawn up.
We like black.
I'm not,
Oh, you're not sure?
No, I like black, for sure. I'm just wondering if we should take on a2 or if d2 is a move. We have to watch out though for some tricky knight forks on e7. But why not just take on a2? I don't know. Rook takes d3, we're still up a pawn.
Yeah.
In some lines we can play h4, h3. Yeah, he took on e2. Why didn't he just take on e2? Yeah, then we take on g5. Yeah, if you take here, of course. If rook takes e2, then there's hanging pawn on g5.
You will shortly see a handshake in the Gunnarsson-Navarro game.
They will play it down till he's going to play king a3 and b2, then they will agree to a draw. So the position on the analysis board is Steil-Antoni Bisbee, but on your screen you have the last few moves of Gunnarsson-Navarro, which are going to be rook takes b2, king takes b2, and a draw.
I always quite appreciate players playing down to the bare kings.
Yeah, and it's quite obvious that they both knew that that was going to happen. And immediately he goes to talk about the game. You could have played the... You should have played rook b2.
Seems quite agitated.
Very animated.
Yeah. Maybe telling John Victor how many wins he missed and where.
He's definitely pointing something out there.
Yeah.
But okay,
so we
this
come
one,
back to Dan
d takes
Bisbee.
e2, rook takes on e2, and rook e1. And now we can take on a2. I don't see why not. But he plays d4. Okay. Very aggressive.
Points are rolling up the board.
Yeah, so let's say rook takes e2, and maybe d3.
Yeah.
He wants the active passed pawn. Yeah, it looks quite good. And here he could think about something like this. When g5 is weak as well. So looking good for Bisbee.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the endgame wizard, Erwin Lamy. He won a lot of nice endgames last year and in years past in this tournament. So after rook a3, which, I mean, I don't know, I don't actually have a suggestion, but seems like a strange move because you have to probably move the rook again and you're just helping white with e4, a4, king e5, and now you have to move the rook again, rook b3. Okay, rook a7, a3, king d6, now we're threatening mate. King goes back, but white has accomplished something, he improved the king.
And we can see the young Chinese player there on the screen. In a pretty desperate situation, I would say. I'm not sure I can even see a way for black to fight on here.
Yeah, now that he has the rook on the side of the pawn, he can't even push it anymore, and white has an easy plan of just pushing his pawns to go e6, king d6, he makes a check, we go king e5, and then pawn d5. So, I mean, what does he do really? It's a rather easy plan actually. Just e6, push our king here, and if he makes a check, the king can go here, and then we push this pawn, and the pawn will just roll. Yeah, looks tough. Often the such connected central pawns are stronger than.
Especially now that the rook is defending the pawn laterally.
Defending, standing quite badly, defending it from the side. But he didn't really have any good choices, I think.
Yeah. So we're predicting that Erwin Lamy will join the leader group on 3 out of 3 tonight. Do you want to stay with this, or should we move on?
Let's move on to something else.
Maybe let's have a look at a game people have been talking about. Henrik Danielsson against young Sanjay Abdulmalik from Kazakhstan.
Okay.
Another rook ending.
Another rook ending. Yeah, maybe not important how we got here. We're here, and
so it looks like black. Or
maybe black is doing quite well. Yeah, it's just winning this pawn. She's up a pawn, and white is defending passively with his rook.
I warned you about this young lady.
Yeah, you did. You did.
She's only
but you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have warned me. You should have warned Henrik.
That is true.
A5. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not sure she will win, but she's the only one playing for win in this position.
Oh, he plays rook b2. Yeah, so there isn't even an active idea for white.
Yeah.
So Henrik will have to struggle a bit here for the draw.
Okay, what else? We're gonna. Oh, we go back. We had I think from the position we saw in the Erwin Lamy game. Where was he? Here. Black just resigned.
Okay, he played rook b2.
Rook b2. And
lost the pawn, and now it's come over. Yeah, because if he takes on h2, it's now you can't kick the king away. Yeah. And yeah, it's gonna be checkmate even. So
yeah,
that's a free pawn. There's nothing to be done.
Checkmate, because if you play f6 after e6, the king can't get away. So that is that.
That's all she wrote.
Yeah. So let's see what is still going on. Maybe go back to. Sorry.
Let's go back to Steingrimsson. Did he manage to simplify? Yes, he did. And he's up a pawn.
The game.
Yeah, after queen d4 check, we didn't see any way to avoid the queen trade. That's what happened.
So the bishop retreated to d7, e5, bishop f5, bishop e4, g6, take. and rook g1 check.
Yeah, white is just up a pawn, and
also he
could just play
maybe
just play e6, right?
e6 and get.
And the knight is dominated. The black knight is dominated.
Pass pawn here.
Rook g5 takes f5 is coming. This is game over.
Yeah.
Nothing to see.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here, people. Moving along.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. Have a look at Gawain Jones' game on board 4.
He's down a pawn. Yeah, this one we couldn't really quite figure out.
This. Yeah, this was too complicated for us. We left it a while ago. Around here, we're just gonna come to the current position, catch up with what happened.
So Gawain is a pawn down, but he has the bishop pair, so often that's enough to defend, but we'll have to see. He's also way down on the clock.
Yeah.
1:30 against 8:30.
He just has to play 2 more moves.
He's down 7, yeah, down 7 minutes, but yeah, only 2 moves.
Control. But again, I don't think Gawain can win this game.
No.
Even though white is a bit pinned and a bit, black is very active, but still, I don't think.
Yeah, well, yeah, for the moment the knight on a6 doesn't stand really well. But is there a way to take advantage of that? I'm not sure. He plays bishop to e5. So 2 more moves for Gawain Jones to make here until the time trouble. So he has 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Yeah. And we had a move, bishop e5 was played. Do you think if they exchange rooks, if black takes on c5, knight takes, how do you evaluate white's winning chances here?
I'm not sure he can win. Seems like we can
try though.
Yeah, he can try, of course.
Time.
But if you just play bishop c2, yeah, and then bishop b4. I'm just turning bishop b4 and winning the pawn with the opposite color bishops.
Yeah, that is true. You can't save the pawn.
So he can just take on c5 right now and almost more or less secure a draw.
Yeah, because bishop is coming and you can't defend the a4 pawn. Okay.
I mean, Gawain shouldn't have any winning chances. He didn't take.
No, he
okay.
Played rook d8.
So he could have gone for an easy draw, probably, but
Gawain again, a very ambitious player.
he probably wants more interesting, highly interesting, actually.
Interesting. It's especially interesting because he's so short on time, but probably wants to go.
Well, it's only 1 more move, but still.
Yeah. Should we go to Niels Guandilius game?
Let's see Niels Guandilius against
Brahe.
Brahe. Brahe with white, yep.
Okay. So.
Okay, we had some complications earlier, which were actually interesting after knight g5.
And now we had a lot of simplifications.
He took on c3, and from there we had a capture on almost every move. Knight d5, queen e2. Aha, and this followed. So after this, okay, we have some repetition of moves here. If Niels plays now king to f7, then white can actually repeat the position for the 3rd time with queen h5, which he has already played twice. So if Niels wants to play for a win, he needs to find another move. And
It's difficult.
I
to
think he
find
will.
something.
But maybe just g6, but it's difficult to find a plan forward.
I mean, I just can't see how black could be better with those doubled d pawns.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually like almost like it's a pawn down. Yeah. It's good for now to control some squares, but once you exchange queens, then they sort of count as one pawn.
You know, the player is also very short on time. Sometimes it can just be a tactical measure to repeat moves twice to just gain some time.
But I think black should be better here. He'll play on, because you'll try to get your queen to c4 or e4, and then white can't really take. And white has all these pawns on black squares, blocking his bishop and also their targets. Meanwhile, black is more or less with his pawns on light squares, which is in accordance with the Capablanca rule to have your pawns on the opposite color of your bishop. So what Niels probably wants to do is to get his queen, to c4 or e4, something like this, while he takes care of his king. So of course g6, not repeating moves.
Yeah. We see John Victor, who drew Navarro in the background, watching the game.
And what move are we on? 36?
And also in the background, that's Daniel Bisbee right there.
Playing,
Playing against Axel Rombaldoni, game we just looked at, where we think Dan is much better. And if he wins, he also moves into the lead with joint lead with 3 out of 3.
So we should mention that both players are down on the clock. And chess legend Arthur Yusupov watching on the Dan Bisbee game.
And Bragi about to make a move.
Yeah,
G4.
he has 1 minute 19 left. He plays g4.
We can maybe stay with this game until they reach the time control.
Yeah.
And then maybe go back to Dan Bisbee, see how he's getting on.
I think he'll play king f7 now, it's logical, but no, he plays bishop b6. Just slightly improving the bishop. Yeah. Maybe you can swing it over to another diagonal, and also in case you need to control c7 as a square, as an anti-square. Just a small improving move.
Also, by the way, to update you guys on the football, Ibrahimovic in the Chelsea-PSG game got a red card.
Oh.
So PSG down to 10 men.
As
going to be a difficult night.
Analyzed by Botan Lalic on Facebook, PSG never had a chance in this game because Zlatan Ibrahimovic has failed to score in 7 consecutive games against Jose Mourinho. So rest in peace PSG, he said. No chance. So it looks like the great analyst Botan Lalic is right once again.
Especially with the Dutch arbiter.
With the Dutch?
Dutch arbiter. They don't like Ibrahimovic. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so there we have Bragi being supported by his Icelandic teammate Þröstur Þórhallsson. But yeah, it's only black who's trying to win, and I think the main thing is if you want to exchange queens for black, you kind of have to do it on c4 or e4 to improve your pawn structure and get an entry square for the king on d5. If you don't do that, you can't really enter with the king at any point, and then you can't win. So bishop d8, he wants to change the diagonal.
Maybe put the bishop to f6.
Yes, and also put it near the king so that there are no perpetuals when you enter with the queen. That must be his idea. So I like black here, but it's not clear that he can actually win.
Again, this is a game which is probably going to go on for a long time. Niels will probably try to win.
Well, let's see the last few minutes. It's always interesting to see when players have less than a minute left, how the stress is affecting them.
Only 2 more moves to play each, down to 1 minute.
I mean, there's not a lot of complications, but still Bragi is a bit nervous, and he tends to show that by grabbing his pen, not writing anything. So let's see what he comes up with. He's down to 20-something seconds. need to make a move, my friend. 17 seconds. Yeah, fortunately this is not a complicated position. He goes for G5. Trying to, well, bunker down and just keep everything locked. Even though he's more passive and the pawns technically are on the wrong color. But if you can block everything, then it should be a draw.
Yeah, just Niels has to play 2 more moves. He did play King F7 now. So just 1 more move each. And I think once they reach the time control, we're quickly going to go to Dan Bisbee. And after that, we're going to call it a day, because it has been a long one.
It has been.
2 days here, 2 rounds at Harper. So it gives us a chance to catch the rest of football, get some dinner, and be back in our best shape tomorrow. Tomorrow the round starts at 5, slightly later than usual, because a lot of the players will go on a Golden Circle tour organized by the...
early in the morning.
Yeah, and last year they got back just before the round, didn't get time to get changed or get some rest. So that's why we're starting at 5 tomorrow, and then all the following days, except from the last round, we will start at 3
o'clock, yeah.
So they have reached time control, and I rather predict this will be a draw after a long fight.
I agree with you. And Black will try, but I don't think he will succeed. Well, Queen C6 was played. No, maybe threatening Queen C4.
Yeah.
But no, he can't really do anything, because if you go to C4, we take it.
Yeah.
We just put a king on E3, and there's really no entry for the Black king.
I agree.
Well, okay, it's slightly tricky. He might have some chances.
So shall we go to
let's go to Bisbee.
Maybe also mention the main upsets of the day.
Yeah.
If you can remember them.
Yeah, of course, we'll try. So we have Bisbee here. He's up 2 pawns with a protected pass pawn and a relatively safe king.
Yeah.
So I think Black can, White can just call it a day with a healthy conscience.
Yeah. Okay, so just quickly take you through today's results. So Shahriar Mamediarov won against Simon Becker-Jensen on top board. On second board we had a small upset as John Victor Gunnarsson held the second seed David Navarro to a draw. Third board Elianov won his game.
Gawain
is still playing, might be drawing his game.
I mean, if he wins, that's well done, because, well, he was down a pawn, could have taken an easy draw, but went for the win. Yeah,
you can keep following those games online, of course, without commentary. Erwin Lamy won his game, showed us his endgame
ending
skills. Once again. Bright Torfilsner against Niels Guandelius, the game we just looked at, still going on. We predict a draw. Alexander Fier made a nice comeback after blundering a pawn. Won his game against.
It was a funny game to follow.
Yeah.
Both the game and the reactions of the players.
Exactly. Then, what did we have any? We had a big upset on board, a rather big upset on board 14. Young Lars Oskar Hauge, who came here, showed us his game.
Yeah, but still, I mean.
Yeah, he's a very strong player.
He already played in the Olympiad for a young Norwegian team. Has some experience, some confidence.
He moved to the leader group, 3 out of 3, and then another upset we could mention a bit further down was Magnus Fader, Henrik.
Beating 23-47 rated.
Exactly.
Young player.
So that's it from us for today.
Fine for now.
A last tweet from Sabrina, who is here in Reykjavik. She's watching her teammate Dan Bisbee. They play on the same team in the for NCL. They play for Cambridge University. So she's watching him crush everyone at Reykjavik Open. Will this be a repeat of last year? Where he then moved to 3 out of 3 and then 3 out of 6.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. So thank you very much to you guys for watching. And tomorrow, round 4 starts at 5 p.m. Greenwich.
Yeah, actually starts at the same time as this round did. And like Fiona mentioned, the rounds for the next 5 days after that will start at 3 o'clock Icelandic time.
So thanks again.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to chess.com. Chess.com is social. Now you can play chess with your friends whenever you want, whether that's middle of the day or middle of the night. You can get instantly matched up with one of over 5 million other members from around the world. You play live games in real time, turn-based games at your convenience, or tournaments with anyone at any time. Chess.com is mobile. You can play online from your computer, or you can play on the go from your tablet or your smartphone. No matter where you go, whether you're at work, grabbing a bite to eat, or just enjoying some time at the park, your games are there with you, and keeping multiple chess games going has never been easier. Chess.com is for learning. Don't just play chess, get better. The best chess training resources have never been more accessible. Learn essential chess strategy quickly and easily with the extremely popular Tactics Trainer tool. Improve your game in ways you didn't know were possible with training videos by chess masters. And regardless of where you're at now, take your game to the next level with multiple simple-to-use training tools. Chess.com is for everyone. Over 250 million chess games have been played on Chess.com. And it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or a grandmaster. Chess.com is the place to play and learn chess. So create your free account now and see what Chess.com is for you.